Welcome, everyone, to Weekly Game Chat. I'm your host, Chris, as always, joined by my co-host, Sean.
Is this thing on? Are we doing this?
Yeah,
This is it.
and John.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, internet webs.
Wait, let me turn you down.
Oh,
Thanks.
thanks a lot.
Make you a little bit more insecure.
Boys, we're in the middle of the summer.
It's like kind of the back end.
Kind of the back end, yeah.
You're
School.
like, you said that, and then I literally watched you start to think it out. You're like,
wait a minute.
I'm lying.
Well, the reason I said that is because it's hot, and like today I was walking just outside, and the sun was obviously on the back of me because my back was on complete fire. I was like, what is going on?
And you're in that area now where at work
There's no trees.
Yeah, I do not miss those days. Like walking across, especially back when we used to come in at 3 there, and you get out your car and like you had to park a mile away.
Yeah.
Because of the changeover, and you would just be like, let me cross this desert of asphalt.
Do you know the side y'all used to come into, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's there anymore.
Oh yeah, that's right.
No one
yeah.
parks there?
Well, it's because of the way that area now handles their employees.
Sure.
They don't need the parking. Think about that, John. What did I used to do? I'll let you think about it while everybody's like, what are they talking about? But yes, it's different. Telework.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them do that over there.
That means they work from home and they don't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
They don't
it's
have
crazy.
a cubicle.
Yeah, it's
Life
crazy.
is their cubicle
Yes, it is.
or something.
What'd you guys get into this week?
What did I get
Yeah.
into? Besides our game that we're talking about this week.
You did, dude. I you know what? We missed a shot. Shot.
Oh wait,
Everybody. That's a song, John. We're sorry. The Black Ops 4 beta was on PS4.
it's called Blops.
Yeah, I know.
Blobs.
I didn't.
We didn't even think about that.
I am not. I'm sorry. Like, I guess maybe it's just the fact that I know
Who's
the
really
only.
who's gonna cover it this year? You know?
Well,
I don't know.
I could have at least done the beta.
It's
And
not-
if he says anything as far as like who cares about that kind of thing, there's going to be people what he's talking about are going to be like,
No. I totally respect those that care about that game. It's just like, I guess I had gotten to a point with it the last couple of years, and I'd slowly realized the only time I was ever really caring or playing was when I was playing with you guys. And honestly, our group, I mean, like our group, like outside of a couple of people, most of them play it for most 2-3 weeks and they move on. So the fact that there's not even a campaign with this one, and the fact there's so much else coming out in that time period,
I will remember you.
maybe I will at some point if it's like on sale.
Sarah McLachlan.
Will you?
Shut it down. No.
That's not 30 seconds, Chris. That's it.
I won't ever
We're not risking it. I'm not doing it.
What did I do this?
So, I mean, Dead Cells, Overcooked 2, We Happy Few. Which one do you want?
I don't know yet.
I've already got Dead Cells downloaded.
I would probably do like an Overcooked.
We have to all pick a platform for that one because there's multiplayer on it, and we have to play this together.
It's on the Switch.
I don't know how well that would
Shut
work.
it down. It's on.
What
the
did you
Switch.
get it on?
I haven't picked it up yet.
Dead Cells?
Oh no, I picked up
I thought you were
Dead
talking
Cells
about
on.
Dead Cells.
No, because
I didn't think it would have
that's isolated. But like no, Overcooked, the whole entire it's big this time. The first one was only local co-op, so
What'd you get
now
Dead
it's
Cells
finally
on?
there. PS4 because I had store
Dude,
credit.
There's a VR game I want to cover.
I'm sorry if I care for my my sprite based games to have 4K beautiful.
It doesn't
HD.
matter.
Shut your face, choke on your spit, and that Coke. But there's a VR game I'm going to bring to the table that I might want to cover.
What do we got?
Ooh, which one?
I don't want to say the title now
Why not?
because I just don't.
They can anticipate. Someone right now is like, man, I would subscribe
There's
if
a game,
I just knew a
There's
game.
a game that's in VR where this kid's like in class and he's holding basically a Game Boy, and then you go in the Game Boy
Oh.
and you're playing.
So it's kind of like the Fam Toll Booth, but with a Game Boy?
It's so dope. I'm really thinking about checking it out.
Remember that?
Mm.
You don't
But-
remember the Fam Toll Booth?
Oh, those,
Yeah.
my wife loves that.
I dropped the ball.
Speaking of which, when our audience hears this,
Yeah.
we'll be celebrating our 6-year anniversary.
No one cares about your
Wait,
six.
that's tomorrow?
That's tomorrow.
I'm kidding.
That's tomorrow.
That is tomorrow.
But it's true.
Do you have the flowers ordered?
Flowers, no.
Do you have
you bought some
do
oils?
you have the card?
Let's not interrogate me right now.
Well, because we've gone. You and I have had conversations.
There's a thing about flowers right now.
I know.
With the cats. You bring those flowers in.
It doesn't matter. You send them to work, and then John, listen to your boy.
Let me guess. They just sit there and they see him and they're like,
yeah, of course. Well, that's why
this is great.
they can sit on her desk at work. 6 years, man. That's one more than 5.
Look, you want to give a cliche, traditional, boring gift to your wife, you go right ahead.
Your wife.
You can think that.
Oh, wait.
And you're right. It is cliche and it is traditional, but you can think that. That's not all you give them. You understand?
You
give them the Richard, of course, which is traditional and cliche. But then you know her better than anybody. So then you do the other things. I'm not wrong on this, John.
What other things?
That's up to you. I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
We're working on it. And plus, there's something going on tomorrow, so we might be postponing to Thursday.
Boo.
Plus, next weekend we're going out of town, which, speaking of which, reminder, next weekend is out of town. We have super fast internet. I mean, it's lightning fast internet.
You've changed.
Well, I guess we're not going to do Overcooked next week.
Yeah, we still can. We still can.
I'm not playing on this stupid Switch that has like terrible online.
What about when we both had to run?
I pay for good online, damn it, and I'm going to use it.
What about you say that word?
Huh? Yes.
Because
beavers build dam.
Like,
you just got to find a way to get past it.
Did you just say beavers?
Yes.
Yes, he said beavers.
Because they do.
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of things that I finished,
Off? Wait, what?
I finished Jessica Jones.
The first season or both
seasons that are on Netflix.
I still haven't watched the second season.
I gotta be honest, I was a little concerned. I started Jessica Jones probably a year ago.
Sure.
2 or 3 episodes in, or maybe even the first. I'm just like,
you bailed.
Luke Cage comes out. It's got a couple of seasons. Maybe Iron Fist comes out. I know they're not related, but these are like the Marvel titles that are on Netflix or whatever. And I'm like, the other night or a couple weeks ago, I was just like, you know what? Let's just see what happens. I love Jessica Jones. Fun fact, didn't know until I think you told me, John Ritter's daughter.
Yeah.
Didn't know it.
Kristen Ritter.
Just because the last name's Ritter doesn't mean they're related. Have you fact checked that?
Yes.
Okay.
I remember that from...
Please let him be wrong.
No.
Please.
I remember that from...
It has occurred to me many occasions, but but I feel like I checked on it a couple years ago when I went, and it said, no, not related.
I believe I heard that back when she was on Breaking Bad.
Wait, so
season 2.
With Jesse.
More importantly,
Jesse Pinkman.
The 10th Doctor's in the first season. That's the most important thing. Season 1, FYI.
Oh, he's one of the best things. About
he's
it.
the villain.
Yeah, he's awesome, and he might be in
Jessica.
season. He might be in season 2. I'm just saying.
I haven't watched that.
I'm not saying anything else. I just said he might or he may not be. Game of Thrones, John, are you?
Throne Games?
Yeah, John's not in on it. A friend that one of my real life best friends is finally caught up with season 7.
Wait.
You already caught up?
No. I mean, hold on.
In real life?
No. Am I one of your best friends in real life?
But it would be
if we didn't have this podcast, would you still love me?
Kristen Ritter's father is Gary Ritter.
Oh my God. I've stated a lie on this podcast, which spews the truth most of the time, Chris. And because of you.
The assumption makes sense, but
Gary Ritter. I thought there was some relation.
Maybe there is.
Yeah. Maybe it was something else.
Maybe there's an uncle or something.
Very possible.
And do you know, like,
his son's been on things. I know that.
Well, great, Chris.
I can't remember his son's name.
But Matt D.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear
all up in Game of Thrones, which I just I want you to think about that. Muscles and tattoos.
Everyone says that, and then I'm like, well, let me ask you. Regardless of like the fantasy elements, really until the later half, they're not there that much. It's mainly about people talking and people,
copulating.
Yes, and then every now and then you get a battle.
I want to chop your neck for saying that.
You're supposed to say, "Ooh."
Well, I didn't like that word.
Copulate.
Ugh.
Sorry.
That was pretty good.
I meant fornicate.
Yeah.
Get a strong reaction from
I am deep into Assassin's Creed 2.
I saw that. Ezio's collection,
So
right?
sad.
Or whatever it was.
Octopath Traveler is just looking at him like, really? What'd I do wrong?
I don't know. I went into the game to check something. I don't remember why. I was curious. And then 15 hours later, I'm in Venice.
It's not that hard. It's a great game. Legendary.
It is. It's pretty legit.
I just I'm playing it just the whole time going, I can't wait to play
The new one.
No.
Yes. He can't
Assassin's Creed
Odyssey.
No. The follow-up, the better one. The better version.
Whoa.
Brotherhood.
Whoa.
Oh God.
Assassin's Creed 2 is the best Assassin's Creed ever.
Nope. It is Brotherhood
Boo.
by a mile.
Boo. I don't know what kind of miles you like calculating your dome piece.
Take everything they did with Assassin's Creed 2 and combine it with recruiting assassins, using assassins in missions,
You can
sending them on missions.
You're saying things. It doesn't matter.
I'm saying 3 things.
I would say the better story, just because it is kind of like Ezio's origin, is 2.
Okay.
I definitely agree.
fair.
Like, there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff added into Brotherhood.
Dude.
The only bad part about Brotherhood is that the whole entire thing is just Rome. Like, that was the start of like, we're just going to do one city, and that kind of.
Do you remember how to fast travel in Assassin's Creed 2? It's a bear.
That's right. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
What's wrong with that?
Wow.
Did he think I literally meant it's a bear?
No, it's the.
You go to these shops, you pay money, or you can just horse it down to your next location.
Yes.
It takes a while.
You and fast traveling issues, dude.
He hates it. But at the same time, that's like 2011?
Yeah, no, 2009.
Why'd your voice just get
Was
so
it?
high?
2009.
I thought that was when it came out. Because didn't the first one come out in 2007?
Oh my goodness.
First one came out in 2007. Then
So then 2 years later.
is 2009.
Yeah, okay. I thought we were talking about Brotherhood.
Oh, then 2010.
Hey, you see how you cleared that up with communication?
See?
That's good stuff.
There you go.
You guys rock.
But I can't wait. But he's right. I can't wait for
You know
Odyssey.
what you can't clear it with communication?
I want to play Odyssey so bad.
You know who didn't clear things up with communication apparently very well?
Who?
Urban Meyer.
Ooh.
That's what I've been doing all week. I've just been watching that.
Well, because like you pointed out, we've officially, how'd you say it, surpassed the last weekend of without football?
Yeah,
or something
we're in
like that?
football season now, and it's like really weird because
Urban Meyer.
it's start. Wow.
Oh. Hey, anybody got breaks for a podcast? We need to hear them right now.
Urban Meyer is the head coach for now.
For now, of the Ohio State University. He previously tenured at the University of Florida, and before
What did
that,
he do?
Utah,
Was it
and before that, Bowling Green. So there's a thing about like the Me Too movement right now, right?
Okay, I'm with you. I've read the headlines. I just didn't.
And there's been some things reported through him and of allegations and
Things that he did not report
Yes.
or covered up.
possibly.
I would say both. Well, maybe not the reporting part, but it's like, it's pretty clear at this point that university apparently didn't do any worth of an investigation, right? Mm-hmm. So someone's getting, I don't know if it's him, someone's getting fired.
It's
just
crazy.
Too much.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's so bad.
But,
And I was just like, the best part has been like every time someone has tried to put something out, right? The reporter, Brett McMurphy, has just like, when Urban, for instance, put out that statement the other day of like saying he did his duty and diligence. It was at the same time,
reported that?
in the same time, Zach Smith was having that interview where he was denying everything.
Yeah.
He dropped like tweets of like, or no, he put a tweet up of the conversation he took between his wife and him.
Yeah.
As far as where he pretty much just admitted he hit his wife and he was apologizing it to her because he's trying to win her back. So it's just like, you're looking at all this stuff. I'm like, man, you are not, no one has looked good in this except for Brett McMurphy.
It's a mess because you're opening up, the lid on something that has been in the past ish.
Yeah.
But you're bringing a today's spotlight on it, and it's a tough thing. Regardless, as a head coach, dude, he's a high profile coach. And you can't have a high profile assistant on your team, doing the things that this guy had alleged that he did.
Well, remember,
you just can't.
Jim Tressel at the same university got fired because he wasn't paying attention to his players selling off equipment for tattoos. So you're saying if that's the thing that gets you, then it's like, well, is a Title IX violation any better? Right. No.
So John, that's kind of a big thing in sports, and I wanted to find, it's crazy that Chris did mention football is basically here.
It is.
I hate this time of year, but I also love this time of year because for me, it takes a couple of weeks to get into that rotation of, checking on scores, to see what's going on.
It's big games. Here?
It's close. Yes.
I mean, I can't. Kickoff for college football is always Labor Day weekend. So it's coming. And this week, I think like tomorrow is the kickoff of, the rest of the preseason games for the rest of the league besides those who played in the Hall of Fame game.
And not to mention for you folks like me who care about soccer, aka football.
That's no one.
AKA socialism.
The English Premier League kicks off this weekend as well.
Boo.
It's kind of a big one, Chris.
It is.
Just saying.
That's the one with the Manchesters and the Uniteds, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All of them.
And the Chelseas.
All of them.
And I don't know. What's the London team name? The London D Bridges?
Speaking of things that we need to kick off.
Hey, I see what you did there.
I was talking about you. Oh. Kidding. Joke, Chris. Joke, haha. Funny, Clinton Dix.
We're shutting it down.
That's somebody's name, haha, Clinton Dix.
It is. Former Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Roll Tide.
Speaking of.
John, if you could see, this is why I need people to see our faces, because look at you right now.
I need a list of words. I need a list of words.
I just want to
because every time I drop one, everybody goes, dang it, John.
That's his name. It's haha Clinton Dix, D-I-X.
Literally.
I got you the first time.
If it was the other thing, I would have said haha Clinton Richard.
Well, damn it.
But it's not. Look at you, you bad boy. You're just saying it because you can say it.
He's a little bit perturbed that I said damn it.
Oh, you did it again.
No, I just start. Whenever I think of the name haha Clinton Dix, I'm like, that in its way is
holy
a great.
Damn Clinton Dix.
Yeah, it's a great hidden thing.
What are you doing?
But it's also a real name.
Committing loopholes?
Anyways.
Yes.
Are we ready to pivot?
Shall we hit the old pivot?
Should we?
John?
Are we going to
pivot?
Are you guys ready to
pivot?
Wait, are you guys ready to kick off?
Ugh. Pivot.
Like
table.
Ugh.
It's funny. All right,
it is funny. Let's do it.
Topic time. The topic is
tree fitting.
Tree fitting.
Show people one video, and now they're gonna remember it for life. I don't blame you. It's amazing how many times like that video first aired. The first time I saw that had to be like 1998, 99. And it has come back in memes consistently throughout my adult life.
Tree fitting.
Tree fitting.
Just turns up every now and then. But yeah, the topic is not Tree Fitty.
No, it's not Madden Tree Fitty.
No, it's Madden 19. Sorry, people that don't like sports games, I guess.
But listen, we
love football.
We do like football.
Do we?
What if you're on the fence about playing Madden?
John doesn't like football. Chris and Sean love football.
Both versions for this Sean.
Sean can't play Madden very well, but Sean loves football.
I don't want to bring up our statistics because you'll say how I'm 1 in 74 against you.
Congrats. Probability worked in your favor.
But, just saying, I walked out a winner.
If you finished 1 in 15.
Is that what you call it?
I'm going to tell that to the Browns this year when they go 1-15. Like, hey, that one day, you walked out a winner.
We got a call on line 1 as Baker Mayfield.
He ain't going to play this year.
You don't think he's going to play at all?
I guess he may eventually, but he's not going to start.
He just wants to tell you the Browns are going to be the surprise of the year. Or I want to tell you that.
Someone,
even I know that's not true.
What was it? Hold on.
Hey, I take the Browns to the Super Bowl every day.
Speaking of which, when I put up this week's picture for
why do you follow that person that I just saw?
I don't know. We're friends on Facebook.
Creeper alert, QN Radiohead.
But when I put this up,
they got a song called Creep, John.
I put up the logo for this week's episode, and Clay Lane put, "Oh snap! Will Cleveland go from 0 to Super Bowl hero?" And I just said, in short, no. It's not allowed. You're not allowed to be good if you're Cleveland, right?
I really want to.
Unless you got LeBron.
Oh, too soon.
Right?
Too soon.
No one cares about that city anymore. No one.
Oh.
Tyrod Taylor's starting, and he doesn't care about that city.
He's a good quarterback.
He's a good kid.
He's all right, you know.
What is that from?
I don't know, but I love that you did it. I love the face.
Oh, that's what you do for the Bobby Bowden impression from the 90s. Whenever someone you'd have like the football player like who gets accused of like aggravated assault, and you'd be like, he may have hit that girl, but he's a good kid. He's a good kid.
John,
so we're not going to cut him.
Have you ever heard that name?
I think I have. Yeah.
He's a legendary coach for I'm kidding. He's a legendary coach at the University of Florida State.
Those rednecks.
He's old. I know he doesn't coach anymore.
He may have robbed the bank this week and shot a cop. But you know what? Kids deserve second chances. We're going to start
him. He's a good kid, man. That's all you need to know.
Start him.
Literally, that's him. Meanwhile, old fucker in the thuckatass Lou Holtz would.
I so totally at first didn't know what you said.
I was not looking at you.
What just happened?
Let me tell you about Notre Dame.
You sound
football.
like Rocky and Bullwinkle.
That's basically what he sounds like.
What is it? I guess is it Bullwinkle that you sound like, not Rocky.
Like somewhere Lou Holtz right now is predicting
that
Notre Dame's going 14-0.
Oh yeah, they're the greatest team ever.
They're going to beat Alabama in the national championship by 35 points. Oh wait, that's us against them. News, right?
Whoa,
so yeah, Madden's out.
John,
yeah,
how you doing?
Hey man,
you look great. It's good to see you. Well met. I don't want to mention the crease today, but it's there.
Where's your creases? Not there.
I don't do that.
So let's get to the basics. Or facts, or the brass tacks. There we go. Let's go with that.
What does that mean?
The brass tacks. I think most people, no matter what, when it comes to Madden, they just want to know one thing only.
I just want to play football.
Do you, like, based on the point being, the last time I bought Madden was this, is it time for me to upgrade? Right?
Yeah, because people will let a couple of years go by if there's not anything big, that kind of changed.
Yeah, you got the two groups of people.
That was a powerful statement by me, John.
You got the ones that are kind of like you got the ones that are like the Call of Duty folks, like that. No matter what, every single year they're buying that. That's their game. They played every single. I mean, I'm in that group, right? I buy Madden and NBA 2K every freaking year. I mean, I'm paying for the exact same game just about, but with refinements. But I'm fine with that because I enjoy the experience of both. So here's what I would say.
Right.
If you didn't like 18 and the changes they made, and there were a lot of issues, a lot of people, I think 18 is probably the weakest Madden.
Let me ask you this. You mentioned that. Now you can only mention one. Mm-hmm. What's the biggest change that 18 had that the people or you personally thought was really bad for the game?
Bad for the game?
Or however you want to look at it.
For 18?
Yeah, for 18.
The biggest thing was the balance between wide receivers and corners.
When you say that, elaborate a little bit.
So they started, the whole entire thing has been trying, the last couple of years, has finally trying to refine animations down and make it feel like certain moments are really actual vindictive of what we see on Sundays in the NFL. And one of those big things that they've had to deal with is like, we see it all the time, like just battles between wide receivers and corners, and somehow someone pulls something down that you just cannot believe. And they just couldn't do that for the longest time, man. There was just no way to animate it. So they started to do it last year. But the problem was you had these things where either the wide receivers were way OP and were jumping in a way that
OP is overpowered, John.
That just didn't feel realistic.
Yeah, thank you.
Or more commonly, you had it on the other way where like the DBs were just way
defensive backs, John.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. See, there's cornerbacks and there's safeties. Those are your defensive backs.
And what is a QB?
That'd be a quarterback.
Or a refund.
Okay. He asked, George Washington. There you go.
But, so that was, and I also remember last year they had like, basically it was their attempt, right, to do what the NBA 2K did with the story mode.
They did, and
you were very excited about it. It was kind of not a letdown, but maybe you wanted a little bit more.
I enjoyed the narrative of it, but I wanted something to actually come in there. And like, as far as I thought it was going to be a gateway into the career mode, right? Like where it's like, hey, take this character, and sure, he's a scripted character. You can't make him you, but like take him, do the basic story, and then build him out as you see fit.
Are you Chris Love?
No. I'm Chris Lockard in Madden. Okay. Whenever I make myself, just because there isn't a close equivalent.
He makes himself.
I do. Plus, they don't have great customization options the way that NBA 2K is, which is I don't understand that, and that's still prevalent here.
Well, how many different size shoulder pads can you get?
It's more of like your face. It's like
it's
like basically pick one of 6 skin colors, and of that skin color you pick, you get 6 face options, and that's it.
Because think about how
there's no customization to how you look or anything. And
well, everybody, I mean, there's about 6 different facial structures.
Is there?
Yeah,
in the entire world.
Everyone. So you're saying like
don't be a science denier, Chris. Don't be a science denier.
Everyone who has the one face like this, they all have beards, is what you're saying?
No, I'm talking about.
Well, that's
6
the way
different.
You can change the thickness of cheeks.
No, you can't do any of that.
When did that change?
There's like whenever we went to the current gen.
Wow, you just dated me, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oof.
And it's just I don't understand it because it's like you look at all your competitors, even games they make, right?
EA,
like whether it be FIFA or NHL.
What's FIFA?
That's that fake football.
It's the soccer.
Okay.
Thing.
But like in there, you can customize out the way you're facing all. And I guess it's maybe the idea that you're behind a helmet, but you're behind a helmet in hockey also, right?
But Chris,
you see
why would you want to
hockey.
Customize this face?
I'll tell you.
He's touching Chris.
I'll tell you why, because they did add these animations.
A little clammy today.
I was in the office. That's what fluorescent lighting will do to you.
Yes.
But you have these animations now, like between when you're on the menu with your created player, where you actually see him sitting in the locker room looking at things, or if he's like a coach, he'll be at the drawing boards, and it's like you feel completely detached from the guy when you're just like, well, there's
that guy.
There's a creative player number 6 right there. He's got my number on the back. I just don't like that. I would rather you actually customize it out, but that's just one little thing. But yeah, going back to 18, like there were those kinds of issues with gameplays where people were just like, this isn't realistic. Like, how level concepts, right, work,
Yeah.
So you have an under and an over, right?
Yeah.
You'd have like these, you had this scenario because
are we still talking about video games?
Yeah. You had this scenario that would continually creep up where it's like, again, because of the way they built these battles, where middle linebackers became gods on those plays because they could just basically sit and guard the under because they could jump so high to beat the over, which, as you and I both know, is not what happens really in football when you run those concepts.
In real life football, like when you watch it on TV, the defensive person,
you have to commit.
You commit. Yeah. Now the player, what coaches are wanting in their defensive schemes, they are trying to adapt to make it close to what Madden was trying to make you believe that these middle linebackers could do. They're wanting taller, slimmer players, faster. But you don't want that big, bulky, like Dick Butkus, like.
If I'm throwing the ball,
defensive player.
If I'm throwing the ball, even if it's like, if I'm throwing it even on
I'm just glad you finished the sentence. A big, bulky
Dick Butkus.
Yep.
When you're
I'm with you.
When you're throwing these balls, like, even if it's like a bullet pass, right? Like, you're throwing them 11 or 12 feet in the air a lot of times, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're a linebacker and you're in motion,
with pads
you are not jumping that high on a vertical, even if you're like 6'4", right? LeBron can't do that.
He might be able to.
Maybe he could. Dwight Howard could, but he's like 6'11".
Yao Ming could.
Definitely. He would just skip.
Yao.
Do you remember Yao Ming?
Can I write a check?
You take check? Yogi. Yao. I'm so proud of you right now, John. That's great.
But there were issues between that. A lot of people had. I personally thought it was the weakest iteration of Mutt they had done. Like, I'd gotten so hype on Mutt over the previous
Madden
summer.
Ultimate Team, John.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd gotten so hype on Mutt like over the last summer, and then I went into this, and after about a week, I was like, this is just bad. like after you got past the first round of solos, it was like, well, I hope you like playing online because that's all there is to do for the next month. And I was like, I don't care. I'll move on to something else. So I am happy to report.
Well, you were excited. You brought to the table, hey guys, I want to cover Madden 19. I'm going to get early access.
Yeah, I do this every year. I do EA access.
You got EA access. You're going to get to play it. So you bring it to the boys a happy report.
Do you play it every year, or do you not skip some?
No, he plays it every year.
I played it ever since 15. I've played it every single year. The only one I kind of skipped was.
He's making it seem like it's just.
Well, I had skipped. What Madden 25 when that came out because it just wasn't that good from what I read. And before that, I played pretty much every.
Hey, but you're Madden 25.
It was the 25th anniversary.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. You are a former commissioner, and it's It's amazing to think that legendary former commissioner,
9-time world champion. Woo! Yeah, I've played a lot, and I have to say, I'm proud to report this is, I think, coming at the launch of the game, the best iteration, definitely since 16. 16 was the one where we did the league and everything. That was a blast. That was a great reformation. But definitely, I mean, it might be the best of this generation so far of all the ones they've released.
Of this gen?
Yeah, because it's taking those issues that we spoke about, mainly like the way wide receivers, and just not even that, but like all players. And it's started to actually refine what they do to make it feel more like Sunday. And in that they've gone in and they've tweaked the way animations work now in motion, and the players move much more realistically to how you actually see a human body move. If I'm going to my left and I cut back to the right, I slow down. You know, there's just no way you can avoid that. I lose some speed.
It's physics, John.
But at the same time, like the probability I'm going to do this huge juke leap when I actually do juke, you and I both know that's not the way people really juke. That might be the way you juke in a video game, but for the most part, it's a stutter step. You know, it's a little bit of a jump to the left. And then a jump to the right.
Juke?
Yes.
You know, you juke.
If I'm going left.
Is this adorable or what?
Yeah, it is.
A juke John is like if I was going to the left and then all of a sudden I jumped back to the right.
See, John, a juke John is much different than a juke joint.
I know what a juke joint is.
Yeah. Same thing, but on football fields.
Guess
what you doing at a juke joint at night?
I'm juking.
Guess what a spin move is, John? That's where when you come up to me, I spin in a direction so you miss me.
To wheel you off of me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like all those kind of things, they're working more accurately. Mm-hmm. Like you really feel the burst of speed with like, for instance, a running back when he really gets moving now, as opposed to like how it's always felt like on men, where I guess the best characterization most people say is that it often has felt like with players, especially wide receivers, as they're going across the field, they just feel like they're figures gliding on ice as opposed to running on glass.
You don't feel like their foot
anymore.
When you watch their feet, it literally looked like they're skating across the grass as opposed to putting their foot in it, making a divot and things like that. I just wanted to find a way to get to the word divot.
That's a key word.
It worked.
But the big things like here now, like going back to the animation, especially like wide receivers now. So those bows just feel a lot more authentic. Down to the.
I'm so proud of you. You made it. You made the vowels sound some.
You pushed through that word. You pushed through it. You got it.
It was his last breath.
I was looking at authentic playbook. But
it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's great.
It's spot on. Do you like chocolate, like a box of chocolates, or?
Mama always said.
That's nice.
Yeah, I used to be able to do that a lot better. I must have drank May 15 Dr. Peppers.
Whenever I was going somewhere, I was running.
He apparently got that character voice from the child actor, because that's the way he actually really talked. And he just started. He said like
child actor,
the kid who played Forrest.
He said like he's from Mississippi, and that's
am I crooked eye?
He was like, "Hi, Mr. Hanks."
Man.
Anyways, back to that has a connection to football though, right?
Oh no!
Your mama really cares about your education.
Did the director I think came out recently and posted
Robert Zemeckis
how Jenny really died.
Oh yeah,
I mean we all knew it.
AIDS.
Oh, Chris. Whoa, go back to Madden.
She had gotten the
strong
AIDS.
Turn back to Madden, Chris.
Because his mom had gotten the cancer.
You died on a Tuesday.
I buried you beneath our favorite trees.
But I don't.
Tree.
I don't.
Yeah, sorry.
Madden. Go to Madden.
Anyways,
I'm not a smart man.
Sometimes there just are enough rocks. I can do this all day.
Go back to Gandalf, please.
Yeah.
No. Sometimes there's not enough. That's Sean Connery. What am I doing?
Yeah. It's not exactly the way the rock throw. It's what you do with it. Anyways.
You're bashed. So whiners are always whining about their bashed. Losers, wait.
Do you know what a knight's chair? So many things. So many things. God. Name the dog Indy.
Like some goulash.
Henry Jones Jr.
That was for blasphemy.
The first test.
The search for the Grail. It's not archaeology. It's a race against evil.
God. I forgot we used to do this. Anyways.
Football.
Yeah, football.
Good. I'm hot. It's so hot right now.
So yeah, like now, anyways, getting back to, like animations now, like especially with the wide receivers, there's no more just like always, I have to be wide open or I'm jumping up like this and coming down. It's
that's
more
when I think of Madden. That's what I think of.
Like for instance, think of like the type of things like the national championship, Calvin Ridley coming across the middle in the end zone and somehow getting that BS pass that probably wasn't even intended for him.
Right.
There's that kind of catches, like falling to the ground or just a guy. You'll see these instances now with the wide receiver where he is stretching out, trying to pull the ball down and he misses it by an inch, which is what we literally see now in the NFL all the time because it is such a league that demands precision, which is why Cam Newton sucks. Right?
You can direct all that fan mail.
Shots fired.
He sucks. I'm trying to think who else sucks. Kirk Cousins is about to suck.
No, he's not. Don't hate on Kirky Cousins.
No one likes him. He went to Michigan Sparty McSpartan. We know what happens when you play Alabama. AJ McCarron comes in the fourth quarter.
Oh my God.
But anyways, yeah. So like it just feels very real. They've also, they've done a little bit of an upgrade to the halftime show. Probably most notably.
Do you not skip that?
I tried not to for this.
Just to see it?
Yeah, just to see.
Yeah.
It's not like overwhelmingly. It's not to the point yet. It's not to the point of like NBA 2K caliber presentation, but you could tell they're like getting better. And also they put, I was amazed they did this. They put Jonathan Coachman in there.
Really?
As the guy. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's a good call. That's a good fit. He's a commentator.
He used to be
in wrestling.
In wrestling, the WWE. Yeah. And then he pivoted to the ESPN. And he was like a radio host on his.
I think he still
like
has a radio show.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
No, he wasn't Mean Gene-ish. I think
he was like Larry Lawler and or Jerry Lawler. Yeah, I don't know why I said the whole Larry Lawler.
You brought Jerry Lawler up. His son passed away this week, so sorry to hear about that.
And then like he was a commentator like Jim Ross and all that. I guess it was more like Jim Ross, right? Because he was the main play-by-play guy.
I think at one point he became like a villain.
Yeah, I remember that.
As far as calling wrestling matches, but yeah, but his personality fits in the world of sports, obviously, because he's transitioned to ESPN, and for him to be put in the game, it works. What were you doing?
He was fondling the soundboard.
Yeah.
Are you bored about Madden?
No.
I get the feeling he might be bored. But anyways, yeah, so the presentation's been upped a little bit. It's not perfect, but it definitely looks a lot better. Really, just the overall look of the game is probably the best. This is easy. Like early on this generation, it didn't really feel like they were making an effort to make a visual game. but they've done that now. Like especially in 4K, I'm on Xbox One X. Game looks beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. It looks amazing. Just like when they're in a stadium at night and you can see the shine and it looks
I
just
always
like,
love that. Yeah.
Yeah. The shine on the helmet. It looks real and it feels real.
It feels good.
Commentary's good. It's not the greatest, but most importantly, the gameplay's there. And I think other things here, and this is why I would say, if you haven't picked up a Madden in a while, or even if you picked it up last year, I do think this is the one you should go buy.
Wow.
There have been things that just, if you want to be critical of EA, they have just let go by the wayside because it was obviously they knew where their money was and it wasn't MUT. And that was primarily connected franchises.
FUT probably had some money. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but I mean, that's its own thing.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about EA and money. I thought you were implying that other games had money.
Oh, yeah, they all have that. No, I'm trying to say
wow, dude.
No, I'm trying to say of the modes they were focused on the one that brought them the most money. Like, and to be fair, most people play with Madden. The number one thing they do play is MUT. But connected franchises, created players, all that kind of stuff. For like 3 years, it just felt like the exact same thing.
So I went like company, more money, and you were still trying to stay within Madden. My bad, dude.
Yeah, I stuck to the
topic.
Yes,
as we should.
Yeah, how much you call it professional? Tap natch.
Tap natch.
But anyways,
I just want to play ping pong.
All that stuff with Madden. Connected franchise now has finally gotten an update. Primarily, now you can actually finally bring in customized draft classes. A lot of people don't like the way sometimes the draft classes ended up because it has like this unrealistic thing where even though it's a low rated player starting off, right? It's like you consistently every year we're seeing wide receivers. There would be this guy in the 5th or 6th round that'd be like 6'5" and had 94 speed. And that guy exists maybe once a generation, right? That doesn't happen every single day. So I remember Tomas and I, when we were in the league together, we would battle each other to find these guys because we understood they were the diamonds. Yeah, they were the diamonds in the rough. And like it was to a point where after 3 or 4 years in that league between me and him, we didn't have our third wide receiver options were like 92 plus speed. And we had to go out there and find corners who had equal speed to match them. It was a pain.
In the old days, like if somebody had, a player that was just fast, all the other talents on that player weren't great, but if they were fast, they would exploit that and really destroy you if you played online.
See, you exploit weaknesses in football, John. That's what you do. Yeah. That's why Nick Saban's God. He exploits them better than anyone else. For instance, we took Georgia's weakness.
I wouldn't do this if I were you. Don't do that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have people from Georgia that listen. John's a Georgia fan. Why would you do that? Class, man.
Because, hey, Bulldogs!
Oh my God. So have you played a match online?
I have not.
Boo.
I didn't feel the need to because I know how that feels. And I have no doubt that works fine.
Well, I mean, I would have liked to see if, at least early on, if the connectivity, if the servers were rocking.
Oh, they always, their servers are always great.
They're always good. I know. Yeah. I just, for the.
And I was checking the forums to see, I would have seen if there had been like people who were like, what's up with this connect?
Yeah.
They've been, if there's one thing 2K could take a page from Madden, it's how they work with their servers.
Especially at launch.
Yeah,
for sure.
There's been issues. Also, they could also take a page from them. That game loads incredibly fast. Madden 19, like.
Well, I wonder if it's because it's a digital,
Not even just that, like startup, like from home to then is like about 45 seconds to get to the title screen.
Yeah.
But then like when you're doing these MUT challenges, it takes no more than 10 seconds to get in. And then maybe after the challenge is done, 5 seconds to get back to the title screen. Whereas like this used to be like going between challenges would take you 45 seconds. Like loading a game of NBA 2K takes about 60 seconds usually. And that's both ways. So like when you're doing these challenges, which are usually pretty quick hits, to be able to have that where you're like, okay, it's not anything I really care about as far as time and I can just keep doing these back to back to back. That's a nice improvement. And I'm like, everyone else should be working towards this to make the services better.
Who's the top team so far? as far as overall team?
I believe ratings wise, it is the Eagles.
Really?
Yeah, because it
makes sense. Yeah,
they have a 97 defense. I think they had like a 92 offense, and then right after that's the Patriots, who didn't have quite as high of a defense. But
they generally do the top 2 teams from like the Super Bowl and things like that. Mm-hmm. They pretty much
the good thing
over.
is they adjust everything. Like there's a dude right now who's paid by EA, and he's at the he goes around to all the football camps right now, and his job is just to watch players for the potential of adjusting their ratings in Madden. That's his only job.
That's a crazy gig.
And he apparently gets paid 6 figures a year to do this.
Yeah.
Do you think EA Madden is, from a development perspective, just a drag and drop process at this point?
I think a lot of it is as far as the core, but then the refinement and changing things, I think people don't understand how hard that is. Like, because it's so easy to say, oh, we want to make this thing more realistic. And the price of that, because it's a physics engine, is like you break all these other things. Or you're trying to introduce these animations, and in order to make them work and not clip, you have to adjust again the physics, and it just, that means everything else can be thrown off in a heartbeat. So finding the balance for all that, it's a very strenuous process. But getting back to connected franchise, the big thing I loved about it, I've said, like, I don't like making players that often in Madden, and it's because it's just felt like you create your quarterback, and, to be fair, that's still a little bit generic. Yes, as I said before, but it's like you create this guy, and then you put him into the starting lineup, and he could be a 72 in week 1. And by the end of the first season, because of how good I am at the game, how well I understand the concepts, I can easily get him.
Coach Lockhart over here.
It's more of like, it's not even that. It's more just like, what to run. What are the safe bets.
I'm constantly just winging it when I play.
Yeah.
Let's just see what happens.
Hey, we know. But, it's like you could take a guy from 72 who's like supposed to be the 6th round pick, right? Mm-hmm. Have all these flaws. And as long as you know what you're doing, by the end of the season, I would always win with him. He'd always win Rookie of the Year. He'd probably be in the run, if not winning the MVP. And he would have amassed enough stats throughout the season that he's gone easily from a 72 to at least a high 80s guy. And by the end of the second season, he's going to be a level 99 player. And you start to get these things like where it just doesn't fit real life, right? Like, you don't see guys who come in as scramblers, and all of a sudden the next season they're the most accurate pocket passers who are the most aware in the league. That's not the way the NFL works, or any sport for that matter. In most of the other sports, you have these archetypes and you build towards those archetypes. Like when I made my character in NBA, when Chris Love was built last year in NBA 2K, he's built as 2 primary archetypes. He is a passer and he is a 3-point shooter. Those are his 2 things he does well. If he goes into the lane, he can, as I built him up, he got better at it, but that's definitely outside of getting fouled. That's not his strong point.
Right.
If he goes in there and he has to make a sidestep move, he's not going to be Russell Westbrook.
A Euro step.
Yeah. But on the other hand,
that's how we roll.
On the other hand, if he's out there by the 3-point line and you are playing back a little bit and he does a step back, he'll knock it down 9 times out of 10.
He'll make it, John.
High probability he will Steph Curry you. And that's why you like it. And there's like a cap as to what I can build him towards, right? He will never be a 99 inside scoring, but he could be a 90 overall 3-point shooting, right? So finally they've kind of finally brought that into Madden as far as how you build these characters, where you, like, so for instance, I made Chris Lockhart as a scrambling quarterback because, let's be honest, that would never happen in real life. In so many ways it wouldn't happen. He's 6'5".
Of course he is.
Yeah, of course he is. He runs a 4.3. No.
That's amazing.
The way it works this year is like, instead of just getting XP and spending on whatever you want whenever you want, you instead have a bar that's building up. Kind of like, think of it like an RPG and you're leveling up, right? Eventually you fill that bar up and you get a skill point. Yeah, and for depending on whichever character it is, you go in and they have like, so for quarterbacks, there's 4 main types of archetype that you can level up through. There is Scrambler, right? There's Field General. There's I think it's like Strong Armed, and then there's West Coast. And they each have their core abilities that those fields will primarily focus towards or have the point to go towards. And what you do is when you pick your point of which field you want to put those in, it kind of does a random roll and picks a couple of key stats from that sect to level up. So
makes sense.
Yeah, you know, so like for instance, if I keep dumping my stuff into Scrambler, which is what I've been doing, like I continually put my stats into the scrambling thing because that's what his build is, right? I want to get him. My goal has been to like get him to level 85, right? On that, he started out as a rated 72 in that, and like all the other archetypes, he was like 65. I just kept dumping stats into that. And he has, through that process, his arm has gotten stronger, right, as he's leveled up, but it doesn't happen all the time. And really his deep pass rating hasn't gone up that much at all as far as accuracy, but primarily the things that have gone up are the things that most scramblers are good at. He's getting better at throwing on the run. He's good at short accuracy, and he's getting better at running with the ball. So, you know, those are the things you're looking for. So it's telling you to pick these things, and that kind of goes up towards also if you then decide to make a coach or an owner and build a team up that way, where you start to get players, and as you progress them, you have a scheme that you want to implement. And the more you level your characters and get players that fit the scheme and level them up in those schemes, the more dominant you become at being able to execute what you're trying to do. So if like you're a guy who wants to have a 3-4 defense that's attacking, and you go out there and you get people built for that and you level them up in those stats, after a while, like it could be like, oh, hey, you know, because you're using the scheme, you're like rated at 95 defense overall as a team. But if you were to then switch that out and say we're going to a 4-3 or 4-3 defense that's much more conservative, they could all of a sudden fall down to like an 85, even though they've got all these 90s on the squad because they're not built to exceed at that. So, or excel, I don't know what to say. Besides that, Mutt has made a lot of big changes. I think that's where most people spend their time. Mutt is awesome this year. So far from what I've seen, they made the biggest change. They got rid of contracts, which everyone hates. They've expanded upon these training points, which they introduced last year. And basically you get cards that like start out level 68, and you over time you get training points, and you can put them into the cards you want to level. And you could take a level 68 guy to eventually to be like a level 95 guy. So it keeps you wanting to invest in cards and characters you care about, as opposed to just saying like, what's the highest card of this pack? That's the one we're keeping. Sell everything else. Like, I'm keeping everything right now. I haven't been selling it off at all. And that seems like the right
I'd be
move.
worried if you did. You've only played it since it came out.
You'd be surprised
how fast that builds up that you could do or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I'm already at like level 79 now. And I've only spent...
That's gangster.
I spent $2 just because it made sense. Because it was like $1 card purchases. And I was like, okay, you're telling me I can have a level 84 character for $1 that has 93 speed? Yes, I will take that. Thank you. But the cool thing they've added, you know, I said like last year with Mutt, I fell off real quick because it was like you beat these challenges and it didn't take too long. And unless you really wanted to grind through the hardest challenges, there just wasn't anything to do unless you want to play head-to-head.
I hardly ever mess with those challenges. Man.
Yeah. They're a requirement.
Yeah.
But so what they've introduced this year is really cool. It's called solo battles. And it's
Han
really,
Solo.
Right? It's kind of designed primarily for those who are non-multiplayer minded, which is really a lot of these kinds of things. I like to do that just because I can build things to not worrying about defeating an AI or not an AI, an actual person. But in the the tactics that people use, which may not be realistic, but more so like, oh, can I build this and do
you mean
this
like
thing?
quarterback scrambles every time with the fastest quarterback?
Oh, look, it's 4th and 28 on your 20 and we're going for it. Hey, you caught it. Congrats on that 50-yard bomb to Julio. Yeah, wow, that's so realistic because that's what they do every Sunday.
It would annoy you so bad.
Can't imagine anything annoying me.
Yeah.
You don't get annoyed, John.
So solo battles allow you every single week, your resets. What they do is they take random teams throughout the Mutt universe that have gotten some sort of praise, and they put them out there for you to challenge against. You can do up to 13 games a week, and the goal is to do it on the highest difficulty you can do to win, while also accumulating the most points as far as stats as you can, because there's a leaderboard. And at the end of that week, the people who are highest up on the leaderboards get these like cachet of just like prizes and packs and all these kinds of things to help you build your team. So what it's doing is basically every week it's giving people who like to play the single player mode aspects, just play the AI and do challenges, something where one, they're getting fresh, different opponents because it's never the same teams and they each have their own builds and levels and all that. But two, it's giving them basically seasons to run in Madden that they can go against the computer. And that's fun because like you just sit there and play. I mean, like I was playing like a level 85 team. My team's only 77, but you know, I slowly was breaking it down and like all of a sudden I thought I had him completely beat. And all of a sudden I didn't realize that apparently he had Jerry Rice on this team. And, he went deep and it didn't go well. But you know, it's that kind of fun excitement. You don't know what you're getting each time. It's consistently resetting it. And like for those who want to do the seasons, but they don't want to do franchise mode, they would rather it just be in Mutt because that's a pure fantasy build. It gives you something to do week in and week out besides just doing the weekly challenges. So I'm really loving this. And from my understanding, pretty much the whole entire community is loving it. Long Shot is back. I barely checked it out. Apparently Rob Schneider's in this season.
Are you a Rob Schneider fan?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was a time where maybe I laughed at Rob Schneider stuff, but not anymore.
I mean, I always liked him on SNL. Making Copy.
I don't even think I liked him there, but his daughter can sing pretty good. I liked it
when he said you can do it. That was funny.
His daughter is Ellie King.
Yeah.
She's got a couple of hits, John.
I just always viewed him. I never really viewed him as anything special. I just always viewed him as one of Adam Sandler's friends that he ends up in everything, right?
I sure hope you don't listen to this podcast.
F you, Rob Schneider.
F you!
But yeah, I just didn't care. Like last year I was willing to give it a shot. This year he's apparently playing for the Cowboys, so that's like negative 500 points right there.
See, John, he doesn't like the Cowboys in real life.
Yeah, because
he's a Washington Redskins fan. Yeah. And that's a rivalry.
It is. The rivalry.
Cool, man.
Yes.
It's like so weird that like my football teams have the biggest rivalries, right? Because I mean, like
every team has a rival.
Yeah, but I mean, like in the history of like those, like you can make a case.
Those are. Is there
anything bigger than Auburn, Alabama?
Yes.
If you say Ohio State, Michigan,
that's a big one. It is.
Notre Dame, USC.
Yale and Princeton. Isn't that one?
Yeah, that is one. Okay, Ivy League guy. Excuse me, fellas. This week is the
Florida State versus Miami versus Florida. Any of those are pretty big.
That's not on the level of that, though.
Florida, Georgia.
That's a good one.
Florida, Georgia's up there, but to me, like Alabama,
because the Iron Bowl is a big one.
Like I would say, in the top 3 in college football, take your order right, would be Alabama, Auburn, Michigan, Ohio State, and probably USC and Notre Dame. Those to me are the 3 biggest rivalries.
Really?
Yeah, because like they're
where the heck did USC Notre Dame come from? I did not expect that. I know, but I for some reason did not think you'd say that.
Like had to see what she was chewing. But yeah, and then the NFL, it's either Green Bay Bears or Dallas and Washington. Those have always been the 2 biggest. But yeah, it's I just don't care about that mode because I know it's kind of just this one scripted story thing, and then it doesn't really go anywhere. So if you want to go play it, play it. I might eventually do it just because I know there's some challenges in MUT that you can only do if you've beaten it. But I just don't care. It's not something... I don't think the majority of people are picking up on that. And to be fair, I think it's been evident that EA realizes that because there has been almost zero promotion of that mode this year.
Well, Chris, if you don't care,
then you don't care.
I don't care.
Good.
See?
I'm glad we agreed on that. I hope you stopped the recording. You didn't. But
you guided my hand down. Yeah.
It's like a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap.
I dropped that today at work. Crickets.
What?
It's a trap. I went all in, did the voice the best I could. Crickets.
Oh man.
He was like, what? That's not, they're like, that's not in the Marvel things.
Crickets and South Park eyes. That's all I got back at me.
Tree fitty.
Tree fitty.
See, that's called a callback.
But yeah, I would, right now, I spent 10 hours with it during the week.
Yeah, you did.
I spent our 2 or 3 here since last night. I'd easily give this a 9. Yeah.
It turns out game of the year.
No, it's
quality.
a 9. It's a 9 for like a sports title for Chris, but he does enjoy it.
Yeah, it's not quite to the level of NBA 2K greatness, but it's really fun to play right now. I just can't say it any other way, but it's really fun. I think the modes are nice and clean. Everything feels clean. And if you're like, this is where the base is for the start of this year, and they're going to
everything.
If that's where the base of this sports tile is for this year, and you're like, okay, they're going to refine everything. They're going to, of course, update the players as we get data on the season.
Yeah.
And they're going to add all these new challenges that I have no idea what they are yet to MUT. You're like, that's a pretty solid output, for
now, if they add those stuff and it sucks though, I mean, you could.
True. Then maybe it goes down to an 8.5. I don't know.
Dude, wrap it up.
Why?
Anyways.
I'm kidding.
Why?
I'm kidding.
No. Then why'd you say it?
Yeah.
Still kidding.
But you said it.
You know what?
It's called
many
Stop.
Many
Sean,
things.
Stop.
Said in jest,
with
John,
your gorgeous
He's pointing
shirt
at you.
Are truthful.
And your bubbly personality.
Why are you wearing an Easter Sunday shirt?
It's not a Sunday shirt.
Looks like
it's
the shirt.
a button up with pretty colors on it.
It's a pastel picnic blanket.
Exactly. It's an Easter Sunday shirt.
It's got a lot of purple on it.
Picnic.
You don't realize that because we're Catholic. That's an Easter Sunday shirt.
Both of you are Catholic.
Yeah.
No, I was raised Catholic.
Same thing.
Okay, I don't practice Catholicism.
Yeah, same.
As we speak.
Oh. We're getting it.
That just means I don't go to Catholic church, John.
Do you need Jesus?
It would be funny if now Jeff.
I see a guy named Jesus every day at work. He's
Jesus?
Yeah, I think his name might be Jesus, but it's Jesus.
I'm going to laugh when Tammy and Jeff invite us to lunch to bring us back to the fold.
The church they go to was my church.
I know.
From when I was a little wee tot.
Yeah.
I was an altar boy.
They go to church?
They do?
That's funny.
Sorry.
They do?
Take it back. He's listening.
I'm sorry. I take it back. You didn't hear it.
Do you know how bad he wants to fight you right now?
Yeah.
I mean, his son goes to school there.
I mean, he's always wanted to fight me.
Not till right now. He's walking from his cube to his car.
He doesn't care if you're out of his
coming
weight class.
to you.
It's just kind of like that episode of South Park with Chet Boyette when he came back from prison and those kids knew he was going to get beat up.
I don't know that one, Chris.
I'm going to need you all to get caught up.
I don't like when you do a mini head bob when you tell me to catch up on on South Park.
They're on Hulu.
I don't have Hulu. That was a super massive head bob.
By the way, not Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul's back. I need to watch that tonight. See how that went.
Yeah, you do.
I saw the first opening part, but then I went to go get a drink in the AMC app when
you were getting a drink, like just now before the show.
No, last night.
No.
What's that from? I know
Revenge of the Sith.
There you go.
No.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris.
Unlimited. That part, yeah. Power.
He's too dangerous to be kept alive. That was Mace Windu.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he went out of a window.
Mm-hmm. And then it was all Anakin.
Then he got electrocuted and sent out of a window. That was believe it or not, man, that got me a little bit when
you know what got me?
Padme she was heartbroken, dude.
When the robot was delivering the baby and they were all like, her heart is just giving out, or whatever it is. Was it?
She's lost the will to live.
Yeah, I was like,
terrible.
Okay, that's one way to write that.
The whole lightsaber fight at the end, it was just
epic.
Heartbreaking, man. But
game's over. I have the high ground.
You underestimate my power.
God.
You were the chosen one.
And he's all on the ground.
Just evil oozing out.
You can pull the man out. You know, I'm just saying. He's beat. He ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. He ain't got no legs.
Fried shrimp.
Baked shrimp kebab, shrimp creole,
shrimp stew.
Shrimp stew.
Like,
that's about it.
And just like he's just scrubbing.
Anyway, like I was saying, shrimp is the fruit of the sea. You can boil it, broil it, bake it, saute it. There's pineapple shrimp. There's shrimp kebabs, shrimp's creole, shrimp stew.
Dude, how great of a character was Gary Sinise in that movie too?
Yeah. If you're hungry, there's steaks burning over there.
Don't you salute me? God.
Change your socks every time we stop.
Clear out that hole. Just it went right in there. There were so many great moments in that movie.
Thought I'd try out my sea legs. We ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
You ain't got no legs, dude.
I know that. You wrote me a letter, you idiot.
You got new legs. That's right. Titanium alloy. Same thing they use on the space shuttle.
You know, there were people. I think I'm going to go ahead and just say this, John. Coming back to Star Wars, that watched Solo and didn't know who that was.
My brother.
There were I heard more people.
My brother thought he knew who it was, but he hadn't seen a certain thing to confirm that it was definitely who it was.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about that part. I was they didn't know who Han Solo was? Because that's dumb.
He's like, this guy don't look like Han Solo at all.
God, kind of looks like that dude in the first ones. You know, he died.
Man.
Let's do some news.
You want to?
Yeah,
we got some good stuff.
Okay.
We do.
Yeah, some big stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
All right, John.
Bye.
Hot off the press and straight to your ears. Weekly Games Chat presents the news.
I think for the first time in a month, we all kind of dialed in.
Because John cared.
I don't know why he did right then.
I don't know. Normally you got something going on and you don't want to be all involved.
So
did somebody write a letter about how I get so much crap on this show?
Did they?
In his mind, they did. He dreams every night.
They love it.
Dear Weekly Game Chat, John is the best. Stop making fun of him. Do not ever say bad things.
From
everything he thinks is
Jaren.
The best thing. Yeah. Man. Sincerely, Carissa, John's brother, John's sister, Andrew, BK.
Andrew Rosenberg was mad at me, dude.
Me and him had a debate last night.
He a debate?
No, it was a discussion between me.
He was messaging me. And
more the other guy had a debate.
I figured you were a piece of crap. You didn't play a game for a long time about Monster Hunter. And I was like, ouch.
We called you a piece of crap?
No, I just made all that up in hopes that he would message me again.
Oh, we're recording.
Yeah.
I almost forgot.
Top notch. So this first piece, kind of breaking.
Yeah.
Saw this today, and it's like
breaking news.
It's more developing.
Yeah. We could have put it in here, but someone apparently has a job.
Well,
someone didn't write it when he got
You've been
home.
doing good today, Chris.
Yeah.
Don't be so mean to John.
I was also depreciative towards myself.
Depreciative.
Yeah. I depreciate
deprecating.
Yeah, same thing.
Self-deprecating, Chris.
They're in the same wheel.
Deprecate all over your face.
Oh.
See, apparently, so there's a game we may or may not be talking about next week. It is called Dead Cells. Came out today. In anticipation for its release, of course, review sites started putting out videos. Some sooner than earlier because this game has actually been in early access for quite some time on PC, right? So a lot of people played it in terms or had experience. It didn't shock anyone that there might have been some early reviews, especially on YouTube. So a YouTube channel called, what is it called, John?
Boomstick
put out its review. Boomstick Gaming. They put out a review on July 24th for this game. IGN put their review out on August 6th, both written and the video, to YouTube. And apparently Boomstick Gaming pulled that video and started to review it. And they quickly started to realize that there was a lot of stuff in their script for this video review that was pretty much identical with a few minor changes in like certain words, but identical in tone, structure, and stuff to what he had put up on his channel. And he called him out for it. Called out IGN and asked people, what should I do? You know, what's the right way to handle this? And YouTube, of course, took the moment and seized it. Let them know what they thought of it. But eventually, basically, IGN got to a point where when they became aware of it, they had to pull their review for investigation into its writer, Philip Mewson. That's right. Did I say it right?
That's right.
Thank you. I did it. One name right this week.
He is the Nintendo editor at IGN.
Yeah,
and he hosts the podcast.
Is he over NBC now?
He runs Nintendo Voice Chat.
Oh,
he's the new Jose.
Ah, I always thought it was like Brian.
Jose.
What's his name? Oh, Brian and Sam and Pear. That's what I thought was on that show. I don't ever really listen to that show.
Brian's often on there. Pear is always on there.
Yeah,
but Philip Mewson is the one who does all the work.
IGN,
or not.
IGN did release a statement saying, as a group of writers and creators who value our own work and that of others in our field, the editorial staff of IGN takes plagiarism very seriously. Let's see. In light of concerns that have been raised about our Dead Cells review, we've removed it for the time being and are investigating. The original statement from Boomstick was, IGN copied my Dead Cells review. What do I do? Basically, so there's like a couple of things here, like for instance, okay, so this is the line from Boomstick Gaming where he says, this combat system is fast, fluid, responsive, and one of the most rewarding representations of 2D combat in the entire genre. Meanwhile, in IGN, its fights are fast, fluid, responsive, and hands down one of the most gratifying representations of video game combat I've ever experienced.
Kotaku also lists a couple of other examples.
Yeah. Boomstick Gaming, in most games of this genre, your coolest skills and spells are often set to strictly long recharge timers or limited mana system. But in Dead Cells, your abilities have incredibly quick recharges and allow you to seamlessly integrate these gadgets in normal encounters, and it doesn't make you feel penalized for using your cool stuff. Meanwhile, IGN wrote, most games limit your most useful skills with long cooldown timers or limited mana system, but Dead Cells encourages you to use your deadliest gadgets with a fast recharge timer. It never punishes you for using your best tactics. Boomstick, Dead Cell only...
Are we going to do all of them?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I don't care.
Well, one more.
Yeah. Boomstick said Dead Cells only falters slightly with some repetition staying in, especially on the early areas during longer play sessions. Meanwhile, IGN said Dead Cells does falter slightly with some repetition, but it's only felt in its earlier areas and during extended play sessions. That's about as most.
That's the closest.
Yeah.
It's a tough call for me because, even us sometimes we may be in the same vein as what other people say about games just because of our natural responses to playing a video game.
Yeah.
This is tough because Boomsticks was out first for me.
Yeah, this doesn't usually happen, right? Yeah. Like usually because of the way embargoes and all that works, you don't have this thing where there was obviously a video put out well in advance where someone could have watched it and taken it for his own review. It's usually, IGN's review goes up at this time and so does GameSpot. So there's not going to be any chance unless they were just sharing ideas in a Twitch thread or something, I don't know, like Twitter or whatever, that they would have cross-pollination in the language of their reviews.
Whoa. I think you got that from some site, Chris.
Well, next week when we talk about this game, I'm just going to read both these reviews.
Yeah. Well, and when it comes to us talking about games,
yeah,
I'll do a combination of playing a game.
Sure.
Listening to other people's thoughts on the game. Kind of jotting down ideas, things that they say. Mm-hmm. Going, yeah, that's a good point. I need to bring something up like that. And when we come on the air to talk about a game, it's possible that I state the sentiment.
But you're also not a journalist, right?
I'm not a journalist.
Yeah.
But plagiarism is not, predicated towards just journalism.
Oh.
That being said,
your credit, I'll give you this.
That being said, in full context, I've watched the video. He quoted side by side the statements. It's really hard for me audibly to hear two statements and me go immediately, yeah, that's copying just like that. Mm-hmm. Reading them on the page looks a little bit more similar.
Yeah.
However, to me, I'm with you, Sean, on this particular point. It's a tough call because this review, and I didn't get around to reading it. It's too late now. I can't read it. This review was probably over 1,000 words long.
Yeah, I don't think he's even challenging that.
Taking a few statements that share a sentiment and saying that pretty much encapsulates the entire body of work. Mm-hmm. I think we need to be careful here. When it comes to accusing somebody of plagiarism. Look, from everything I fully expect IGN to fire Philip Mewson. I think that's going to happen, particularly when it comes to
You'd be surprised if they did?
No, I'd be surprised if they did.
Particularly when it comes to the YouTube. This is going to be,
and I think that's
tomorrow. Fair. Tomorrow, I only found 2 or 3 videos today.
Yeah,
this is going to start piling on. And there's a gap. And the ironic thing is Philip Mewson comes from YouTube. He's one of us, so to speak.
Right.
We're on YouTube? Wait,
we
are. Weekly Games Check on IGN.
He's an independent creator that IGN recruited to come in to IGN. So it's tough because he was I think he had like between 100 and 200,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel.
Well, you almost
which
wonder
was exclusively a Nintendo YouTube channel.
You almost wonder if that's why this happened, where you have a guy
who knows all these people.
Well, who knows these people, but isn't necessarily someone who came out of journalism. Like, to her credit, like someone like Alana Pierce, sure, she has a YouTube channel now. Alana Pierce, Greg Miller. Even when you're going into other people who've worked there, like, sure, Colin Moriarty doesn't have a journalism degree, but he did, go to a 4-year school and has a lot of experience writing and understanding those guidelines. I don't know about Philip Mewson's education, but it's like that might be that mistake. I know, right?
Why are the plagiarism police pulling up to your apartment right now?
Let me tell you something.
What's happening?
Sir, did you cite your sources? Sir, go show your hands up, sir. Get your sources.
Show me your pins.
Because you're writing, John, pins.
Yeah.
But that's the Uniball 23.
But anyways, it's like you wonder if it's that thing where you're like, well, if I've ever pulled from something before, it would never get the scrutiny that was going to get when it became an IGN review, because that goes from, I'm sure he had a lot of people, but like IGN has probably 10 million people, reading it and watching its content between their website and YouTube per day. You wonder if he just didn't understand what you are supposed to do and not supposed to do. But the sad part is like, yeah, when you look at it back to back, it's kind of like how people kind of grade plagiarism if you're looking at a college paper or something.
I was going to bring that up.
Where it's like, it's not word for word, but that's because most people don't do that. It's the fact that you start to go, literally in this thing that's 5 minutes, you have all of these similar occurrences to something that was well established before you wrote your paper. Or I guess in this case, I don't know if it's so much the review itself, at least the manuscript for or transcript, for his video, in which he admits he both wrote, edit, and produced. So, it's like you could see how it over escaped IGN oversight, but it definitely isn't a good look for the company.
Well, maybe, but you just brought up colleges, man. And I know for a fact that teachers, professors have like a software program where they can check your plagiarism. And I'm wondering if companies like an IGN have some sort of program as well where they can make sure and run it through the testing to make sure, look, dude, we don't want plagiarism. And if they did, if the other guy on YouTube just didn't fall into like a catch to where they would even see that was even happening. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know. Like I said, it's tough because like John said, a lot of times when we're reviewing games, we're collecting data from all around us, our personal experience, things we see on an IGN, possibly watching a YouTube video. And we want to make correlations to whether or not we agree with what they're saying about the game or what differences we're having. And for me, like, that's why this is tough because sure, some of the sentences when you read them are very close. But at the same time, what if they felt exactly the same? It's tough. I don't know.
I mean, even then, I can't imagine, and I obviously don't know the guy, but I can't imagine Philip Mewson having some sort of vindictive, lazy bone to go in and put down a review that took a lot of work. It was his first one. He didn't, I mean, the review process, particularly when you're required to add a video plus editing, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And because 3 or 4 sentences look very similar, his career's over.
Yeah, probably so. At least at IGN.
And he can, and I doubt he can even go back to his YouTube channel because YouTube is the YouTubers are a very unforgiving platform. They do not forget.
I disagree with that.
YouTubers. Not YouTube.
Well,
YouTubers.
I'm talking
particularly in this in the gaming community. They don't forget.
I disagree with that because
Give
I've watched him.
People have been talking about.
That's a great counter by Chris, honestly.
Okay, look, when you have God knows how many millions of followers, there's very little damage that can be done to a guy like that. I'm talking about
everyone. Look, like JonTron. I'm talking about
who the hell's John?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Why we're getting into the weeds with
like
this,
it's things like that. It's people like, for instance, like everyone condemned Kind of Funny for Colin's exit, right? They're doing fine. They're just as big as they were before. They might have taken a hit, but they recovered.
They're not.
Well, for me, this thing's kind of sad, dude. You pulled up Philip Munchin, and he's the first person that comes up when you type in Philip with an F. And you see right there that in November of 2017, he becomes the newest Nintendo editor.
So he ain't been there too long, less than a year.
And then as of just 4 days ago, he had posted a video explaining how happy he was that his first review was going to go up. So
his channel,
it's crazy.
I mean, his channel isn't ginormous, but it's still solid. I mean, 62K is a good
almost
size.
63. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say like what the effect could be. I could definitely see, again, there's going to be a lot of people that watch this that they don't care about that kind of stuff. And that's the difference. Like when you have YouTube versus something like IGN is going to adhere to journalistic standards. So when something like this comes up, they can't ignore it.
Or adhere to journalistic standards when they get busted.
That's
fair.
Hopefully Philip gets his fair, defense.
Yeah.
Hopefully if he didn't plagiarize, if he's like, dude, this is crazy on how similar it is, but I didn't do this. This is what I did. Here are my sources, and he cites everything to him and it comes to find out he didn't. Yeah. It's just a tough spot to be in when you're even in the same vein like that on something like this.
True. I mean, the thing now is, everyone's going to take these kinds of videos that are up here from his actual channel. And the first thing they're going to do is run it against any review they can find.
I mean, Barry Bonds was accused of taking steroids. Oh, wait.
Oh.
Oof.
Rafael Palmeiro said he did not do.
Oh, no.
And Urban Meyer did not know anything about Zach Smith until apparently it got reported, until he did know and didn't know.
Oh, no.
So, hey, it's...
We'll see. Yeah. Hey, I promise you this. We'll keep you guys posted on the story.
For sure.
Bet.
Next up, Octopath Traveler hits 1 million. Sorry, I'm trying to
I know what you're doing.
Yeah. The Nintendo Switch exclusive has shipped over 1 million units worldwide, including digital sales and downloads. Nintendo of Europe tweeted, quote, "Thanks to our incredible support, hashtag Octopath Traveler has now shipped 1 million units globally, including Nintendo Switch eShop downloads. The developers at Square Enix would like to thank you for making this possible."
Well,
Congrats
you're welcome.
to them.
That's a big number for that kind of game.
Tell me. Franchise. It's going to be a franchise now. Franchise it.
Yeah, Square Enix has pretty much hinted that more types of, what do they call it, mid-tier JRPGs are coming.
Yeah. I'd be willing to bet this game gets ported out to the R2, at least to PlayStation. I would also say probably the Xbox. I don't know why you wouldn't. I would say that happens within a year.
It depends.
I don't think the game's not published by Nintendo.
I understand what you're saying, but it's,
he corrected me on that last week too.
Bravely Default does not get spilled onto other platforms.
That's built around the 3DS stuff.
Is Fire Emblem published by Nintendo?
I think so.
Okay. So that would be why that stays there.
I don't know. It just makes sense to me. It's like, why not? Especially on PlayStation. Why not put it on there?
Why? Why did you go straight to PlayStation?
Because they have 80 million consoles.
I get it.
And they have a history with that series.
But Xbox is the One X.
Fanboy. When was the last time we said fanboy in this podcast?
I don't know.
It's been a while.
Super Smash Bros. Direct announced. Nintendo has announced there will be a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Direct arriving this Wednesday, aka the day this podcast comes out, at 7 a.m. Pacific and 10 a.m. Eastern. The new Direct will focus new information delivered by Masahiro Sakurai.
Masahiro.
I actually got through that.
Sakurai.
Hey, I got one word.
See how there's an A after that S, Chris?
I don't.
Masahiro. Masahiro Sakurai.
The game's, who is the game's director? This may come as a surprise since Smash was their main focus at E3. Post E3 investors voiced concern that Nintendo did not have much content planned for the fall. You would think that the next Direct would focus on the content that Nintendo claimed was coming. Maybe they're doing that for Tokyo Game Show. That's the only thing I can think of.
This was, if you remember last week at the very end, I posted that some news had kind of broke.
Yeah.
That there would be a Nintendo Direct, but looks like it's going to be more of a Smash Bros. Direct. So
I don't see the point of a Smash Direct.
They basically did a Smash Direct at E3.
Well, the point is, who's not buying Smash?
Right.
You don't have to sell it anymore, particularly this one. I mean, this was the top trending game at E3.
Yeah, I know.
Even though,
well, maybe they put something in with the Direct, so like it's like, oh, hey, you came for Smash, but here's something.
They typically don't do that.
Yeah,
I would,
especially if they title it,
but they typically don't
Direct.
do
right.
it.
You're right. It's weird
because why would you do something?
They said more content's coming.
Sure.
If I was, just dump out all your top Wii U titles. You've proven that they sell on the platform twice.
I don't know.
Just do a Direct with all your top Wii U games. Give the console the life it deserved.
Well, like Chris said, it's going to be, as you listen to our voices today, it's out.
It's not the console we need.
Listen to it. Let's see what's up.
But it's the one we deserve. Oh, wait. Oh, we have to chase the Wii.
Why, Dad?
Because it's not the console we need right now.
Stop.
Breath of the Wild may have a place in the timeline. The Legend of Zelda timeline has recently been updated to include Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild apparently sits at the end, unconnected to any of the other three timelines. Director for the game, Hidemaru Fujibayashi. Am I actually in there?
That wasn't that bad.
Fujibayashi?
How would you say that, John? Hidemaru Fujibayashi?
Hidemaru Fujibayashi.
I got the last name.
Mr.
Fujibayashi. It says exactly which timeline it rounds out is up to the player's imagination. Quote, Hyrule's history changes with time, according to E.G. Anuma.
You better get that one.
I love John.
That was pretty good, right?
How do you not know who's that?
I don't know.
He's right below.
I don't know.
Forgot the guy's name, which is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Is he below
Miyamoto? Yeah. What? No. Tell us who it is because you should know that.
How do you not know that guy?
I thought
He's
you
right
were
below that guy.
Fanboy! When we think of the next game and what we want to do with it, we might think, oh, this'll fit well.
Yeah.
Place it neatly into the timeline. But sometimes we think, oh crap, we have to change the placement. This is so Japanese. Actually, the side history has been tweaked many times, aka we're making it up as we
go.
Yeah.
We are totally spitballing the timeline.
You know, one of the most common statements made in video gaming is, this is so Japanese.
Yes.
And it's one of those things that people just look over and gloss over.
It, yeah.
It's like, what are you saying?
Yeah, what do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Everybody does it.
It's just
I've never said that.
Let's go to tape.
I never have.
As you can see here, I'm going to pull out my Madden marker. Here he is. That's so WarioWare may have settled age-old debate. In WarioWare, players who delve into the museum section of the Japanese version can unlock various slides, including one in which Nintendo reveals the console's name is pronounced NES. Weekly Game Chat would like to stipulate that this does not validate Chris's claim of the pronunciation, which is completely accurate, of the SNES. I'm not going to
read that.
I'm not going to say the R one because that's not how you say it. You say SNES.
I'm cool with Super NES, Chris.
They did a poll.
SNES.
And 78% of people who talk about the Super NES call it the Super NES or Super NES. They do not call it the SNES. It's so dumb. It sounds dumb. You might as well just talk about moist all the time.
78%.
Some people hate that
moist,
word.
Moist.
I love anything that's moist usually.
Look, the top, so you're saying
cookies.
So you're saying I belong in the top quarter of humanity that understands it's pronounced SNES instead of you idiots that call it the super whatever.
Just call it a snail.
Chris.
Yeah.
I mean, you've already admitted.
I want to smash
you
your
do it to bother me.
I want to smash your head through this soundboard.
You've never called it that until you realized I hated it.
Yeah,
I don't care.
And now it's your
See, you admit it.
June sales numbers. 2018 for June proved to be a strong period of growth in the business. Spending was across the board, was up across the board with software, hardware, and accessory sales up 25% from 2017. I think they said like a large part of the accessory thing is actually Fortnite because of like they spend so much, and that's what those are counted as accessories. The highest selling console of the month, if we're counting things I really don't count, would be the NES Classic Edition. Really, it's PlayStation, if you're wondering, for this generation, which isn't surprising. Here are your best-selling games. They are in order: Mario Tennis Aces, God of War, Grand Theft Auto 5, The Crew 2, Far Cry 5, Mario Kart 8, Legos, The Incredibles, FIFA 18, Crash Bandicoot, Detroit Become Human. I think I read that God of War is now the second best-selling game of the year. So good for them.
It will round out being the 8th.
That was for the rolling 12 months. Like for this year, it's like what? It's number 1 is still Far Cry 5, and number 2 for the year is apparently Tamissa wants to be my friend. And number 2 is God of War now. So good for them.
For me, with the NES Classic Edition being a console, it's a toss up for me.
Yeah, I just don't.
I get it.
Yeah,
but if we think of a console being a system that plays games, then it's a console.
I guess
I get the point. It's a $39? No, it's not that much. It's like $60 something. So
I guess
you should put it belongs with an asterisk next to its name.
I kind of view it as like, can you tell me what games are coming out for NES Classic this fall? No. Like, there's no market for it. You go and you buy this product. Can you tell
me what games are coming out for Wii U this fall? No.
Yeah, but I can also say they are available in store right now. If a store wants to sell those, you can't actually go buy a NES Classic game.
I'm just talking about...
in theory you can, because they're on the NES Classic when you buy it.
But you can't like go, you know what? I want to port all these other things into it unless you want to do something.
Listen,
Potato, Chris.
No.
No, I will not. No.
Ninja. I see what you're saying, and I kind of agree with you, but you're wrong.
Will you just calm down?
No, I'm right. I'm just right. Change my mind. Ninja hits 10 million.
Rap. Ninja. Rap.
Tyler.
Ninja.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
This always screws me up when I see his full name because his name is Tyler Blevins. And of course on IGN there used to be a guy who would show up named Tal Blevins. So
that's because you're dumb.
I just remember
name dropping.
I just remember
and
that.
It doesn't matter because that guy's name's Tal, not Tyler.
But I mean, how many Blevins do you know? The Blevins clan's almighty and
including old Ninja Blevins. I know 7.
Okay. You know all the Blevins?
I know all the Blevins. Give me all the Blevins. I know them all.
You could find this from the likes of...
Cut the Blevins in half.
And double it.
What about Blevinsies?
Take all the Blevins in the world. Cut them in half.
What about second Blevins? Sorry.
Second Blevins.
I don't think he's heard about...
I don't think he knows about second breakfast pit.
Toss me.
Whoa.
I couldn't make the jump, so you're gonna have to toss me.
Toss me.
Don't tell the elf.
Something draws near.
So many of these. If you want him, come and claim him. You're in Riverdale. But anyways, Ninja is officially the first streamer on Twitch to reach 10 million followers, according to his Twitter account. First streamer on Twitch to ever hit 10 million followers. This milestone is seriously ridiculous. And the one I'm most proud of, I have been streaming for a very, very long time. And I cannot express how grateful I am to be in the position I am. That's significant too, because subs on Twitch work very different than Twitter, where you have to actually pay for them.
Well, so basically what you're saying is one does not simply walk into Twitch.
Yeah, I get a free one every
10
month.
million followers.
Followers on Twitch are different than subs on Twitch.
I heard that.
You can just follow.
Got it, Sean.
And you can just follow.
Yeah.
You can post on the message boards usually unless they turn that off. Subbing though, if let's just say like an eighth of those people sub. Do you know
That's a lot.
Do you know how much money it's ridiculous.
Last time I checked, he was making $650,000 per month.
Yeah,
it's legit.
I think
it's probably more now.
I have a feeling in a couple of years, if he keeps this up, he'll probably, after PewDiePie, be the second richest of the streamers in video games.
And that's the thing. If anybody is out there right now wanting to stream, it's gonna take time to build your fan base. Don't give up. And our friend of the show, Mike D, the Ryan Leaf, he had a chance to kind of establish something. It may not, obviously, it wouldn't have been anywhere near ninja status because Ryan Leaf is terrible. But still, I still wish he wouldn't have given up so easily.
Think there's a market there though for watching somebody play terrible on Twitch?
No,
there is.
He was really good at the one game he played, which was Final Fantasy Online.
Because they have
nothing else.
They have those IGN series. Was it Prepare to Try? Where that's where the idea behind it is that you have a guy who's never played things like Dark Souls and all that.
You just got to do it.
And two guys who are experts just sitting next to him as he fails miserably trying to get past these things.
We should do a YouTube channel solely dedicated to you playing basic, mundane video games. Drunk.
Like Mahjong or like Minesweeper.
People in our audience would not know this, but this one night he was drunk playing Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Was it amazing?
He was sucky.
Oh, I was bad.
It was awful.
Because it was like I had been drinking, like you showed up late, man, because this was the live stream, right? Mm-hmm. And it was like I had started drinking when we started doing the stream, which was probably like 5 p.m. or something like that. John shows up at 3 a.m. for his shift. And
you're tanked.
I've been going and I'm like, look, John, we're playing Tomb Raiders. Look at me, I'm going up this mountain.
Woo! Splash.
Splash. Anyways, EA censors Madden 19.
Whoa.
Wait. Well, we'll go back to that.
Why? It ties into
because I've already read the highlight.
Well, they know it's coming, but you just talked about Ninja, which
Fortnite tutors. I think he means tutors, but he was being cute.
Yeah.
Parents across the world are starting to pay for tutors to help their kids develop skills in Fortnite. The Wall Street Journal recently detailed various parents and their children involved in this phenomenon. When asked, many parents claim the simplest explanation of not wanting their kids losing matches, while others are taking lessons from themselves so they are not embarrassed when they play the game. Some are even taking lessons with their children as a bonding experience. The coaches are typically found on social media and contracting sites. One site claiming it hired over 1,400 Fortnite coaches since March. This doesn't surprise me.
This is proof that there's always an angle into something, right?
Sure.
And somebody decided to say they'd coach people to get better at Fortnite.
It's genius.
It is. It's absolutely incredible, actually.
Like, I don't think this will last forever, but like for right now.
You know, Chris, nothing lasts forever.
Nothing.
Some are even taking lessons with children as a bonding experience.
Yeah.
Here's
smart.
an idea. Talk to your child.
But here you got something that you can't relate to. Like imagine you're like a guy who's an older dad.
I showed this to Aiden.
Yeah.
He looked at me with a pleading expression.
Like, please pay for me. Yeah. Why not? You could actually get good at a multiplayer game, John.
Yay, capitalism.
Yeah.
But this is dumbing down parenting for a generation.
Dude, millennials.
Sandodle.
I don't even know if it's millennials anymore. We're past that now.
Yeah. Well, what's after millennials?
Schmillennials.
Schmillennials, dude.
EA censors Madden 19 Big Bank by YG featuring 2 Chainz, Big Sean, and Nicki Minaj is one of the songs featured in the latest, not late, Madden soundtrack. The verse featuring the name of Colin Kaepernick was removed from the song.
Who's Colin Kaepernick?
I don't know.
Learn to read, I'll learn to write.
Oh my God.
Well, you know, I've proven I'm never going to do
Colin
that.
Kaepernick.
Anyways, Colin Kaepernick removed the name from the song featured in the game. Many have tweeted their criticism of the moon, including the actual artist, Big Sean. EA has responded with the following statement. We made an unfortunate mistake with our Madden NFL soundtrack. Members of our team misunderstood the fact that while we don't have the rights to include Colin Kaepernick in the game, this doesn't affect the soundtrack. We messed up, and the edit should never happen. We'll make it right with an update to Madden 19 on August 6th that will include the reference again. I can attest, because I heard the song earlier today, and it is back in the game.
Well, as it should be. Like they said, they don't, what was it? They said they don't have the rights to...
Yeah,
it's fine. It's a song, and
yeah, but you can picture a developer or a tester or somebody on staff going, "Well, no, you got to take that out. You got to take that out."
Colin Kaepernick, NFL stuff.
I take EA at its word that it was an honest mistake.
I do too. Yeah,
because of a mid-level employee making a decision based on what he thinks he understands.
You think a mid-level would have made that?
Well, I mean,
what's a mid-level?
I'm
Management
sure,
is mid-level.
Okay,
I wouldn't say
why's your voice so high?
Yeah, I wouldn't go to like.
That's a good point.
I don't think it's like.
Work on that.
I don't think it's like some tester. It's obviously this had to go up a couple of channels, but it's one of those things where someone sat in the room and goes like, "Well, the NFL's got an issue with him, and technically he's not in the game this year. What are we allowed to do?" And someone probably said, like, not thinking what would happen, just said, "We'll take it out of the game."
I think it's a little. I think it's an honest mistake, but I can easily see. EA's possibly a corporate type environment.
Very.
And there's analytical people who overanalyze things, and
yes.
Who are they?
And then it goes up to other managers who also overanalyze something, decide to make a quick action, and then it can get fixed later. And the good thing for me is that it's put back in because it should be. And it really should be.
I'll say this. I wasn't surprised when this happened. Mm-hmm. Like as soon as Big Sean called him out, I was like, well, what do you expect the artist to do? You put something in the song.
Big Sean's
my
favorite.
Him, yeah, you're paying him for the song. I was like, yeah, I'd be pissed too if it wasn't like you're editing for language, but you're editing out a name. Yeah, like I'd be pissed if I were him.
Well, some rap songs, some of the hip hop,
hippity hop,
that the artists like Tupac or what have you back in the day,
sure,
they would say names like Dick Cheney or Hillary Clinton or whatever. And I've heard versions now. I don't think
Tupac ever said those names.
But there's been, I'm giving.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And then I've heard where those names have been bleeped out, and I'm wondering if the people like the Dick Cheneys of the world are like, you're not saying my name.
I don't know.
And I wonder if that's different than this. I don't know. That's
maybe
just
because
spouting out things.
I think the
maybe they put Dick and
controversial
controversy.
I think the controversy behind his name was a big part of why Big Sean complained. Had they edited out his content for language, he wouldn't have batted an eye.
Because he would. Well, I think you would have understood. Like, the audience for Madden it's not rated M for mature. Only the online features are probably.
Yeah. Well, it was like what? Basically, the way this got discovered was someone noticed it in the song because he knew the song. I mean, the song's been out for a while. It came out last year. And then they tweeted at Big Sean, and then Sean was like, whoa, what
yeah,
the?
I was like,
Yeah, because it's his song. I understand where he's coming from.
Indeed.
Or I should say it's his verse in that song, right?
Indeed.
PlayStation Plus games for August have been announced. They are Mafia 3, Dead by Daylight, Bound by Flame, Serious Sam BFE, Draw Slasher, Space Hulk, Here They Lie, which is August 7th through October 2nd on PSVR game. Yeah. And Knowledge is Power, which is from August 7th to November 6th. I wonder why those are so long. Right? So if you want to
you liked Mafia 3, didn't you?
I think
good.
It was all right.
It was, yeah, I was hopeful, but I was let down to some extent.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves has officially crossed 5 million players just in time for its new Curse sales update. The number was achieved through combined Xbox One and PC users. The number was likely reached with a mix of units sold, and players who use Game Pass. This was announced alongside with the launch of the Curse Sales update, which introduced enemy skeleton ships, the Brigantine 3-player ship, and the new Alliance system. They just keep adding to this thing.
Chris,
it's probably better than when y'all
want to go back.
I kind of do.
We got to go back.
I have really good internet now.
We got to go back.
One of the things I noticed while playing it, while I played just fine, there was a lot of lag on my side when I was playing.
I could see that with you. I can say it, especially because you're on the.
But now,
I almost just said, if you go back, I'll get it.
Yeah,
and then I had to go.
I don't think this is your. I think you would like it. Have you played at all?
No. Yeah. Do you understand what games I like?
You can play this fun game where you watch John get drunk and you do all the work. That's what me and Mike.
And
play.
I'll say something like, "Don't worry, John.
Sorry.
I got it."
It was a fun thing.
I tried it one time.
But it's fun because we can peg you for it for the rest of your life.
And then Mike chases me all over the deck. It's just
so funny because I'm just
barfing on me.
I'm sitting there driving now. I just hear him like, "Yeah, thanks for the help, John." And I was like, he just got mic'd. He just got mic'd. So
but when
quickly.
he says it, I'm typically lowering the sail or doing something like that.
Doesn't matter.
He's a jerk.
Fun fact about Mike. If you're not doing what he needs you to do in that moment, you're guilty. It doesn't matter. There ain't no trial. Okay. BioWare is still working on Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Thank the Lord. While BioWare is currently hard at work on Anthem. Yep. On BioWare, is hard at work on Anthem. There are teams working on the beloved franchises for Mass Effect and Dragon Age. According to General Manager Casey Hudson, quote, "We hear loud and clear the interest in BioWare doing more Dragon Age and Mass Effect. So rest assured, we have some teams hidden away working on some secret stuff that I think you'll really like. We're just not ready to talk about it for a little while." I think there has been talk that the core team behind Dragon Age Inquisition has been working on a Dragon Age game. And I think EA, if I recall, has said like they have a Dragon Age game planned in their lab. I just don't remember what they were targeting.
Almost time, I would think, because I think that was the first year of the
2014.
First year of our generation.
I really should.
First falling.
I really should try to play that game.
It's a great game.
You told me that.
It is.
I think it was IGN's game of the year.
Deservingly.
That means nothing to me. You guys know that.
It was a toss up that year between, I think Dragon Age won out mostly, but it was Dragon Age and Shadow of Mordor.
Yes. Shadow of Mordor was really good though.
Oh, yeah, it was really good.
Much more better than Shadow of War.
We'll see.
Fallout. Oh, sorry. I almost made a mistake. Finally this week. Finally this week. Fallout 76 beta.
I'm drained.
When Fallout 76 beta arrives in October, I like how it's a beta less than a month before launch, arrives in October, it will be the full game, and any progress made will carry over to the launch version. The Fallout beta will begin first on Xbox One with PlayStation 4 and PC to follow sometime after. I can't wait.
Still?
I can't wait.
It's a Todd Howard game.
Are you down for this?
I'm
going to blow up Casey. That's my only goal in this game, is to eventually blow up Casey.
I don't know, man. Dude, with BFA coming out, Battle for Azeroth. World of Warcraft.
I thought you were like big.
That's coming out very soon, and you guys don't even care that it comes out, and I can't talk about it. So
yeah, you want to talk about it? You are more than welcome to talk about it.
I was going to just ask when you want to, because I understand like something like that takes a while. Takes a while.
I love how I say that, and you guys are like, no, man, hey, man,
you're playing a game. You're going to play a game.
I just want you to. Ouch.
Actually, I was hoping,
blow. I love you.
I wanted to see you shine it, like when you're talking about it, like where you go down to the level, like 3,000 years ago, and just give us the full story. Yeah, I can't wait to play it. Hopefully it ends up working well and is fun. You guys want to wrap this up?
Never. And somebody somewhere tried to make it seem like I'm talking about wrapping stuff up. And let's go ahead and bring this up right now, Twitter person. I don't wrap it up.
See, you've called this out perfectly.
Yeah, see?
Like, he starts out, he's hype. He was all in on news. And now, it's not like he's pulling up social media data.
I don't think he even knows we're doing this, because John really can do one thing at a time. Just ask his wife. And, hey, John. How you doing, John? What are you making that symbol like, what was it called?
Nope.
That symbol?
Nope.
It's called something. No. It's called like the Intimidator or something. What's it called?
Shocker.
I called the
Shocker. Yeah, it's called the Shocker.
2 in the.
It's just called a Shocker.
I'm done. I'm leaving. I'm leaving now.
2.
Speaking of emails,
1 if by land.
Hey guys.
2 if by sea.
Sean here.
Anyways, yeah, we got some emails. And if you want to write us any emails, you can do so by writing us at weeklygameschat@gmail.com. Ask what Sean or why don't we have someone this week write in and tell us what John's mannerisms were right before this, where he wanted to shut it down as soon as he did it. And write them into weeklygameschat@gmail.com, just like Sean did.
What?
He says, hey guys.
I wrote, hey, how you doing?
Sean here. You spelled your name wrong, Sean.
Oh, but he's a different Sean.
But I've been listening to you guys since before the Far Cry 5 episode, or since the Far Cry 5 episode. That's a pretty good one to kick off. First off, college football is almost here, and I can't wait to see the Longhorns play. Boo. And before
we can't boo the Longhorns. They're not in the SEC. No.
Wait till you get to the end of this email, then I'll see what.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And you guys, and before you guys hate and tell me to eat a bag of Richards, we can all agree how we feel about A&M and Choklahoma.
Exactly.
Also, I hope one day soon we get to see a great game between UT and Alabama or Auburn.
First off, did see a great game between Alabama and Texas. Let's go ahead and point that out there, good sir.
You take your quarterback and you go beneath them bleachers.
But what's crazy is that quarterback that came in for them.
Yeah.
He was great against us, and then he kind of fizzled. I don't get it.
His name wasn't Colt or Vince. Anyways, my questions for you guys.
All right.
We Happy Few, I believe is what he's trying to say, will be out soon. And I bought the game when it launched on Xbox as an incomplete game for, before Gearbox moved to Microsoft. They didn't move, Sean. It was Compulsion Games, who's the studio. Gearbox is the one who is producing We Happy Few, FYI.
Boo.
But came out on, early game access. And everything I've been reading tells me that if I want to play the complete game on August 11th, I will have to pay $60 for it when I already paid $30 at the start for showing my support for the game, which I do enjoy playing. I think I should be grandfathered in for free for the full game experience. Wouldn't you guys agree? I'm sure this would tickle John's Richard. Thanks for all you. Thank you guys for a great podcast and game on. Hook 'em.
Hashtag hook 'em.
And he sent a wonderful picture of
an A&M fan.
Of an A&M fan. Says you can't fix stupid. And
here's what's happening. The sun's in this guy's eyes. He has on sunglasses
and a hat backwards.
His hat's on backwards, and he's doing the thing with his hand where he's covering up the sun.
And it says, I wish they would invent something to keep the sun out of my eyes.
Turn your hat around, dude.
Stupid. But I'm pretty certain, I would be surprised, Sean, if this is different than any other early access game as far as I know. If you bought in early on these things, you get the full game unless something has changed.
Well, he said he's been reading things. I don't know. I haven't been reading things. No one at this table pre-purchased, I don't believe.
I have not.
No, I wanted to wait to the full product. I didn't want to be spoiled by it.
Yeah. Let's see. So, I don't know. Chris is doing a quick Dougal check. The old Dougal. Chris is doing a nice little Google check for you right now, and he is deleting everything he just typed, so that's great.
You have to
the first thing Chris typed in was, do I have to? And then you know how Google autofills? The next line was to let it linger. Do I have to? Do I have to? Do I have to let it linger? He's going to it.
To me, early access for this game particularly was almost like if you were to donate to Kickstarter or something like that. I mean, you put forth funds.
You got
PUBG I know is in early access on Xbox, and I know they're not going to recharge you $30 for that or $60, whatever they end up charging. Which is, I mean, the way it worked when I bought the game on PC.
Is that still early access?
On Xbox it is. PC's been out of early access, but I mean, it was also there for a while. I will keep looking though, see if I can find something.
I am almost 100% sure though that Sean will not have to pay $60 for this game. Now there was a point in We Happy Few's life cycle where it kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed, and the developer was offering refunds to those who took advantage of it.
Sure.
So if he took advantage of a refund, I doubt he's going to get.
Yeah, then he'll have to rebuy it.
He'll have to rebuy it.
I would just tell John. First off, I believe I saw right now it's $50, but if I were you, I would just wait till Friday, see if it's available and if you can power it up and you have the full regular game. If not, then let us know. We'll tell you. Next up, Scott writes in, says, good morning. Actually, it's afternoon for us. Weekly Games Chat crew.
Hey, what's up? And good whatever time of day it is when you hear me say this to you, sir.
It's been a minute since I wrote in, but despite listening to every episode, I'm a creature of habit, and what else am I going to do during my 4-hour commutes? Listen to music or NPR.
Boo, NPR. Yay, music.
I have felt like I had much to offer, or I haven't felt like I've had much to offer until this week. After many months of trial and error and constant interruptions by my 3 kiddos, I have achieved a platinum trophy for Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah!
Full disclosure.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Full disclosure, despite being level 12 on PSN, my only platinums till now have been Telltale games, which only require that you complete the story, except for Wolf Among Us, and the less said about that, the better. My wife...
Your wife?
Does not appreciate how proud I am of this accomplishment, and there has been a fair amount of eye rolling in my direction, but she obsessively listens to true crime podcasts, so her opinion is necessarily invalid.
Hey.
Wait, do you listen to true crime podcasts, John?
All the time.
I do too.
Of course you do. Of course y'all do.
This platinum carried the added frustration of having one story trophy, the hyena, if anyone is curious, not popping when I finished it the first time, so I had to restart after I finished everything else because God forbid we be able to replay Quest, tighten up Ubisoft. I believe.
That would suck tremendously.
I don't know if I'd want that in the game.
I used to have that problem with
where it
Assassin's
doesn't pop
Creed.
up?
No, well, that's happened to me before, but
the replaying
of a mission, I don't know.
Yeah.
It works for some games, but it just seemed like it would fit for Assassin's Creed. Maybe
I'm wrong. Why not? Yeah.
Oh, wait, whoa. You can go back in previous games, you can go back to get a full synchronization.
Yes.
Maybe that would make sense from an Animus perspective.
Correct.
Oh, I like those perspectives.
I'm just talking.
Yeah. Anyways, I've completed all trophies in the Hidden Ones DLC as well, and will at some point buy Curse of the Pharaohs as well, as that's yet to come. There's too much great stuff coming out this fall, so I'd better do it sooner than later. Overall, I've completely enjoyed this game. It didn't move me emotionally the way, say, Witcher 3 did, but Bayek is a great character. And
who the hell is Bayek?
He'd be the main character. And honestly, the game is just fun. Yep. You said that in caps. Even having accomplished everything, it's still fun to just run around the beautiful world and take it all in. Yep. I'll end this with the following. Besides Red Dead, we know. Did you know there's a game?
No, hold up. He says it nice, Chris.
Yeah, no, but
we know.
But Sean, do you know?
I don't.
There's a game coming out on October 26th.
I hate you.
And everything is moving up before it.
Boo.
But anyways, what are you prioritizing game wise this fall? Everyone has their particular sports game addiction. For my brother, it's MLB The Show. For Chris, it's NBA 2K. That's for sure. And for me, it's FIFA. So I'll be sinking a lot of time into that this fall. And I think I'm most excited for AC Odyssey besides that. But I'd like to know what else you guys will be knocking out first. Thanks and game on. P.S. If your show on Octopath got me thinking about...
There's no if.
Oh, your show on Octopath got me thinking about delving into JRPGs. My first. That's been...
There's no bin!
That I've been curious about for a while. Persona 5. Is this worthwhile to check out as a JRPG virgin? Will it be gentle with me or be a huge Richard and forget to call me in the next day?
It will be the biggest Richard you've ever seen.
Persona 5, I can imagine being pretty girthy to go into.
Yeah, you got to really like story.
Literally just the tip.
But who knows? I'll say this.
Octopath is a jam.
You can't know what you like and dislike until you try it. So
you may get Octopath. I'm assuming since you say that you have a Switch. What's the game that I traded the other JRPG?
Oh, shoot.
Xenoblade?
The Xenoblade Chronicles might be right up your alley. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're no longer a JRPG virgin, but a pro. So,
but I, sir, am also looking forward to AC Origins. Probably
the fall
right now more than anything, aside from Tomb Raider and Spider-Man.
I think the first thing, like Madden will be, there are these games that we have, like, as far as indie games for the rest of this month, for the most part. I don't know if I guess we would call We Happy Few an indie game anymore, because
it's hard to,
or possibly World of Warcraft expansion.
Yeah, sure. But like, Dead Cells and Overcooked are this month, and they both came out today. I'm playing those, but really, as far as the fall before Red Dead hits, the only thing game-wise that I'm like, I will play this and I will beat it as much as possible before the time
Get it
comes.
out. What?
It's Spider-Man.
This guy, I'm already laughing.
But I definitely plan to play Shadow of what's it called? Is it Shadow of the Tomb Raider?
Doom.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Oh. I'm really excited to play FIFA this year. I think,
and of course, Forza.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about that game.
I'm Forza, and I think Tomb Raider as well. I really got to open that other one and get to it.
Are you going to rebuy your Xbox so you can play Forza 4 with me? Horizon? Wow. You should get an Xbox One X.
Boo. I have a PC.
Matt writes in.
What's up, Matt?
Third week in a row. He says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. I give up and don't give a where you engorged Richard's work."
This was a beautiful sentence until Chris read it.
Yeah. No. If you could just read it with your eyes, it's beautiful.
I don't want
Matt,
your sentence.
You're a rock star.
Hey, can I finish reading his email?
I don't give a crap where you engorge Richard's work.
Anyhow, sorry. I was curious if you all are still playing Octopath Traveler. Are you?
Yes.
How much time have you sunk in?
You don't need to worry about that.
Why won't you say it?
Because you're gonna. It's over 5 hours, and you're gonna try to judge me.
I'm judging you because that's not really playing it. I'll admit I have not.
I just said over 5 hours and left it there, and you're making an assumption, Umi, and you know what happens.
Look, you can be all defensive like Urban Meyer right now at a press conference.
That's the third time you brought him up today, and it's not fair.
I'll say, if I'm being honest, I need to repick up Octopath Traveler. It has been sitting there, unfortunately, the last 2 weeks.
I accidentally fell into Assassin's Creed 2, and I don't know how.
Ezio. If so, what are your continuing impressions? Well,
I love it still.
At 6 hours? Cool. I understand I'm a bit behind the curve, but have any of you played Smite? I gave it another shot after the God Pack was released as games with gold's benefit, and I've been playing a little bit each day for the past month. Hugs and kisses, Matt.
Matt is my favorite because I think he gets us.
He says, send for my iPhone. Please excuse grammatical errors. Oh, okay.
I would say aside from Chris over here, the original founder of the podcast, the other Chris, was really big into Smite for a long time. I don't know if he still plays.
I wanted to be big into Smite. I think I downloaded it and played it and tinkered a little bit, but
you're dumb for MOBAs.
Yeah, it's a
MOBA.
Yeah, I played it. I played it a little bit. It's definitely the kind that for consoles it makes sense. Like the whole entire third person view and everything, it does work. It's really just, do you like these kind of games? There's a huge following for that game. So if you do like MOBAs and you find that's something there's a community for you to embrace. And the cool thing, of course, on Xbox is you can find looking for group and all that kind of stuff party wise. So you don't necessarily have to have a huge list right now of friends who play Smite to find
until she
people
unplugs our power supply. Whether it's
right.
You shut up. She's adorable.
3, 2, and
if listeners right now don't know about Smite, if you have your Xbox, obviously look for it on Mixer. But you also can look for it on Twitch.
You said Mixer.
Yeah. What's it called?
I just think it's funny that that's what you let off with.
Well, if you have an Xbox and you want to,
sure. You can also check Twitch on your Xbox and YouTube.
Yeah. I know those two places. I've seen it played before.
I like Mixer.
Yeah. I like Mixer too.
I like the 4K presentation from Microsoft.
I like how I'm gaining points when I'm just watching people and interacting.
I like giving you crap about Mixer though.
Why? Because you didn't expect me to say Mixer?
I was just like, Mixer, you sold your Xbox.
I didn't sell my Xbox.
Look, this tape right here,
Chris,
that I put together.
John's been to my house a couple of times in the past few
years.
No, recently.
Ever?
He's been over for dinner a few times.
Really?
Yep. Is this where I bring this up? Is this a bad time, John?
All I get is spaghetti. Finally, we got AA Ron, who writes in and says, hey guys, it's AA Ron.
What up, AA Ron?
I just want to say Octopath Traveler is awesome. I chose Cyrus first, and my main party has been him, Ulbrich, Primrose, and Therion. That's a good party right there. That's basically, just about what I do. After doing all the chapter ones.
So it has to be good, right?
That's so powerful. After doing all the chapter ones, Wen did all the job shrines. So I now have Cyrus with Ophelia's job, Ulbrich with, Hannah's job, Primrose with Tressa's job, and Therion with Alfred's job. And vice versa. Okay. That makes sense. And I'm rolling through all the chapters doing Cyrus last since I started with him. He will be the last chapter 4 I do. Anyways, it all planned out a bit, it's all planned out, but I still have a good ways to go. About 20 hours in. Love the show as always. Game on. That's pretty awesome, eh?
That is awesome, and I love the fact that you're playing Octopath. I don't know if we had anything to do with it, but you added to those sales, those 1 million mark, and I think that's just all around a good thing.
That Primrose Tressa job share right there. That's like the magic combo, because that's the one where she can, if you get both of their abilities on both of them, right, and put them in whichever one you want in, you can, of course, do, as I said before, the befuddled magic thing where you get these huge XP boost, and all that kind of stuff. And then with Tressa's ability, you can get tons of gold from the enemy. So, it's a good balance for everything in the game. Sean, we're on Twitter.
Yeah, we are.
At Weekly Game Chat. What people say to us?
Well, I want to give a little special love to our good friend at Nat_the_Gooner. There was a thread that he was replying to that were mentioning some pretty good sites or whatever. I think maybe some podcasts. And Nat stood up for us and mentioned us. He said, those are good, but at Weekly Games Chat is great. So I did actually like that commented on it. And thank you again so much for that. Let me scroll on up. We got a couple of follows, and I'll mention those in a minute. But at formerly Farron, I think that's how I'm saying that right, at Weekly Games Chat, would love to see you guys do an episode on Warframe. With all the new hype around it recently, would be great to hear how you guys feel about it. I'm assuming that's the same game that was originally free on the PS4. And yeah, I've heard that game just continues to grow, and everybody who plays it really goes all in, right?
I've heard good things.
Is that something you think you'd play?
Depends. Would you play?
I don't know. Is this what it would be like if it was just me and you? Like, come on with it, John. We got to show the people. Oh, hey, Chris.
I was always here.
What I mentioned, basically somebody was wanting to see, or they thought it'd be interesting if we did an episode on Warframe, because there's a lot of hype around it.
You know what?
It has just grown and grown. People, I mean, especially with the latest update.
Once I'd listened to Rebel
on Switch now, right?
I think so. I'd watched, or I'd listened to Rebel FM a week or two ago, and I heard them talking about it. And I was like, oh, it's kind of like Diablo. And I was like, oh.
Is it?
Yeah. From my understanding, it's a little bit like a Diablo. So when I heard that, I was like, ooh, okay. And this week after I finished my EA Access subscription time, I downloaded it, but I never got around to starting it. So it's on my Xbox. It's there. If someone wants to play, I'm down.
Yeah. At Mike's Classic Game Boy, which is friend of the show, Mike S. And he has a Game Boy. The reason it's named that is he had a classic Game Boy that a friend we know went to school with him and never gave his Game Boy back. So now his Game Boy lives on. But
Rest in peace, Mike.
At Weekly Games Chat, how do you pronounce NES? Nintendo throws a wrench in the debate, and that's the link to the thing and somebody else mentioned that too, and I'll give you some love in a minute. At Tyrannotortoise, said, so at Weekly Games Chat, and this is who I was talking about wrapping up. I've listened twice now, and I'm pretty sure Sean advocated wrapping up early in the podcast. This is not the kind of conservative bullcrap I tune in for.
That's
hashtag
funny.
Bareback that S.
That's funny.
So if I did that, maybe I was replying or referencing for us to do something.
Look, to be fair, John, as we've demonstrated, checks out every week at about the hour and 40-minute mark.
I then replied that I do not wrap it, good sir. I say never, rapping is for losers. Hashtag game on. We had somebody like that stuff. And then the conversation continued because at Acid Sugar 1414, said new band name Rapping Richards.
That's funny.
So, I told you a minute ago that people were letting us know the correct
pronunciation.
When Chris has to correct me, that's a struggle, right? For the NES, it was, at David _McClendon. He says at Weekly Game Chat, Chris, for all the times John and Sean, spell my name wrong, have chided you for your pronunciation of words, not the least of which has been that notorious Ness. Your vindication is at hand. Hashtag Spinowa, hashtag your wife, and hashtag Ness. So that is absolutely awesome. Bad. Let me make sure nothing else. Oh, so I think would the at Katako _UK that happened, would that be what? I don't know. He was replying to something. Let me click on the whole thing. I don't know this. Why is it doing that? Anyway, Nat the Gooner wanted, he said, who would do a daft thing like that? Let's ask Chris from at Weekly Games Chat. I don't know the story.
I have no idea
I don't know, but apparently something, Kotaku did something, but.
Here, go back. Is there not a direct link to it?
I don't know. Here, I'll give you the thing.
Let me see.
Do it. Just don't swipe to the left on the pictures.
No!
Not Chris.
Oh.
Okay, you found it.
That's why.
So there was a story.
Have you ever rebought a console?
Rebought a console.
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
funny.
picture of the Nintendo.
I appreciate you tagging us on that in a reply, because they're like, who?
What? I wonder.
But yeah, that's cool.
That's really funny.
I appreciate it. Hey, own what you do.
This is true. Let me check our followers. I know we had a few new ones. At Eric Hooverman. Thank you so much for the following you back. He's saying he is a CEO and was in Forbes 30 under 30. So hello to you, sir. And as I mentioned, at formerly T Farron, I didn't say the T before. He is a gamer, streamer, and diehard. Hold on.
Sean.
Whoa. There's
John's ovulating.
Stop.
They know what's going on.
Such a gross.
This person is a diehard UVA basketball player.
God. Sorry.
that wasn't for you,
What is
sir.
a UVA? Oh, sorry, UVA. Got it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
University of the Thomas Jeffersons. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, Chris, if you don't know, is a huge Maryland basketball fan. So
I am,
yeah.
though I'm falling away from it.
Yeah,
Just as my attachment to college basketball is unfortunately waned.
Well, that's all I got. Thank you guys for the interaction, for the love. And of course, if you want to follow us and do more with us on the Twitters, Chris will tell you how to find us one more time.
You can write in at weeklygameschat@gmail.com. And if you want to hit us up on Twitters or Facebook, it's at Weekly Games Chat. Just, facebook.com/weeklygameschat or twitter.com/weeklygameschat. If you like the show, subscribe to us on iTunes or whatever podcast service that you choose, and you will get a new episode every Wednesday, just like this one. While you're there, if you want to help support the show, give us a like or a rating. 5 stars preferred, 4 stars if you really hate us. Unless it's a 10-star system, then double it. And we should be fine. It helps people find the show, and we're supported by viewer support like you. Until next time, this has been episode 165 of Weekly Game Chat. I am your host, Chris. And I will simply say, game on, Sean.
Game on, Chris.
Game on, John.
Game on, Chris and Sean.
Yeah, game on, Johnny Bear.
Your mom's box.
Peace out, everybody.
Thug life.
Sing it like you did last time.
I can't.
I think it's time to update your catchphrase to some new rap hit.
Dude, we've been saying the same thing since.
Can we just have you sign off by saying like
wrap it up?
Can you sign off now by just saying like something like Kiki or something like that from a Drake song?
That's funny. John doesn't know what that is.
Isn't that the thing where they get out of the car and act like idiots?
Yeah.
Ooh, end the show.
Yeah,
push the button, Chris.
We need to stop
Push
that.
the button, Chris.
We need to
push
stop
the
that.
button.
Stop it now.
Chris.